Unfortunately, that didn't work out for us. It is what it is. We don't cry over spilt milk. Oh. And then here we go. This was, again, 3 complete entries on the day. This was my first one. Started 0 for 1, and then there we go. We just got aggressive there with the second entry there on Apple and been sitting in it for...
Oh, it's Iga Howren.
Iga Howren.
Iga Howren okay, dropping 99.
Hot dog, too.
Hey.
He wants the hot dog cannon. I think that's what that means, the hot dog cannon.
Can we give him the hot dog cannon, Katina, man, before we start the show? That's so funny. That's all right, guys, it was a good one today. All right, we're
sending dogs, Jackie. Hot dogs or corn dogs. It's corn dogs, Jackie. Corn dogs.
I'm assuming that's from a movie. Or
something. Yeah. Corn dogs.
All right. I have no idea what's going on. Woo, over my head.
Yeah.
Time to go to the Bitcoin. We'll see you guys. Everybody at the green screen.
I don't get that movie reference, but corn dogs are delicious, so that's fine by me. Oh, Semi-Pro. Yeah, okay, fine. Jackie Moon, Semi-Pro. I've only seen that movie once.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not pretend like we still get the reference, but I mean...
No, I don't. I've watched the movie one time. I remember, what was his, Andre 2000.
I'm not even sure I watched.
Is in that movie. Semi-Pro, 3000, whatever, man. My mind's on Palantir. I'm staring at the Palantir chart. I was going to open with something on Palantir, and then we started talking about Jackie Moon. Right. No, it's a great movie. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's been following along here. It's a wild, crazy afternoon for WWDC. Make sure you get all the W's in there. It's a strong day for the market. The Nasdaq able to go green. The ES able to go green. Tesla's been breaking out. Palantir's having a strong day because why not? I'm on the Palantir chart even though we're not in it. It was something I was going to say about Palantir, but I've completely, it'll come back to me. We got sidetracked there. AMD, what's weird is AMD's strong. Well, a lot of the chips are strong, but NVIDIA kind of threatened to go red there a little bit. Like AMD's strong. You've got ARM having a big day. SMCI is up like 3%. So you have a lot of the chip space showing a lot of strength. Like percentage points higher right now than NVIDIA, but AMD's still looking pretty solid in here. And Bitcoin at some fresh highs. Saw Joe was in that one. I want to try to get back into some Bitcoin over there. Right now I'm just in like an AMD long, Intel short.
What do you want, Joe? All right. We're happy with Bitcoin. No, we're happy. I didn't know if you were closing a trade. I want to tell people. Yeah, all right. Welcome to the jungle, guys. I mean, what a trade. I know these guys weren't really trading. I know Joe, I think, had one trade there on Apple, but what a day that was there for that. We were long ahead of 204 because we wrote down 204, so we liked it. Then once it started breaking, we went short. We got multiple covers down here at like $200.30, $200.50. It was our best fill is actually $200.16. Right now, we're just holding a baby right now to see what winds up happening here in the backside of this trade. But yeah, great opportunity there. And then you just nailed. I don't know, man. This day is just working out, man. I wish I was even here for some Palantir during the midday, but
it's a beast.
It's a monster. I absolutely love that stock. You guys know what Palantir means to me, but there goes NVIDIA as well. We just bought 142s. So we had actually bought this area right there on a 142.50 breakout. Was able to pretty much get it all out. We held 20%, averaged it in, and now we're down there right now. So it's going to be good, man. Amazon is now 450. In the money now, Amazon off of our 213 printed bid there on the sticky note, but whatever. That's from the same as the open. But look at this, man, just riding this 50 period all the way to the upside there as well. I just looked at the account, man. We had just bought Amazon and Marvell and CRM over the last couple of days, so we're really excited about what's been happening with the Nasdaq here. And yeah, again, thanks for that show, guys. Midday show was pretty good, although I didn't hear too much of it. AMD still kicking as well, man. This is still that same trade. So I don't know. We're not in too many different names, but we are absolutely rocking right now here today. We had some great days. I mean, last week I had honestly, just probably P&L wise for me, the best day on the show in a long time, but that's because the Circle IPO. But then today, everything you're seeing right here with my net is just what we've been showing on the show. And it's like AMD, names that you guys know and love. Archer right here is in the money like 15% right now. That's from the morning as we went 3 times on this one. Archer near the highs of the day. AMD was the #1 trade idea on here. So yeah, that's the #1 P&L name. Not even close. Amazon as well, huge. NVIDIA, we're just getting into it now. Then the only red name that I have today is going to be Tesla. And that was right into here. So we're going to have to wait to figure out what's going on with Tesla. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to this one. We're over the moon everywhere else, but Tesla just goes back and forth through 3 bills there. So that's another look right there for Tesla shareholders, getting back up over $300. Looking pretty good there, man. I think we'll be able to hold on to Tesla for a minute now that it's above there. And I want to check out, I don't know, where's Sharifa's still over there, so we'll get that going in a minute. I did want to check to see what, Uber as well. Yes, nice. Uber's upside. And then finally, a name we sold out of some Google and got into Eli Lilly, and now that's finally above my 750. So that's nice too, 775. So yeah, man, things are, wow, I didn't even notice that. Eli Lilly 1, and I'm in this thing.
It's been up for
1,
like
2, 3, 4, 5,
every day last
7.
week.
Yeah,
well,
7
before,
days.
actually, no, because it started when I was gone.
Yeah,
it was actually more than just last week.
It was bad. I was thinking that we made a bad decision there when it went back into there. But yeah,
it's almost like it's free money off 700 on Eli Lilly. Like you haven't been able. Look, don't at me when like the 8th time it doesn't bounce off 700 on Eli Lilly. But that's how it goes, right? Like I remember when someone was like in the chat, they're like, "Oh man, that Oxy, it finally broke. That sucks." I'm like, yeah, but you could have gone long that Warren Buffett level for like 2 years. Eventually levels like that break. Palantir doesn't want to dip back into 130. So Palantir is about to break another fresh high.
Boom.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's good, but I wanted to get back into it for today. I don't want to take a top break at 2 o'clock, but there's plenty of strength in the market. There were a couple of people asking what's going on with Plug Power. All I could find is that there was like a 13F filing for Paul B. Middleton, or Form 4, sorry. Someone insider, I guess, buying 650,000 shares, and then there was an announcement of new technology at 11 o'clock. A couple of random things for Plug Power for anyone that happens to be watching that. Didn't seem like it was anything huge, but the market doesn't seem to need much these days. We're in a bull market, baby.
Let's go.
And that's what we like to see. Although somebody should tell that easily to. Well, I mean, I was gonna say Apple, but it's got an event today.
I mean, we're 71 cents in the money on the short. We took $3 already on that and thinking about a little bit lower on Apple. We'll see if it can recover back in there near the end of the day. What flavor coffee? What's up, CompuCare team? This is just from our espresso machine over there.
We don't get flavored coffees.
There's like little flavor packs you can put. Well, probably full of sugar. There's like French vanilla and hazelnut flavor creamers.
Oh, creamers.
Yeah,
I drink it black.
Back into there. So yeah, just a little bit of milk. We have oat milk and almond milk. I just put normal 2%.
You use?
I don't put cream.
I thought you used the.
I do. I just mix it up, man.
Yeah. I know because
variety is the spice of life.
Every now and then, Randy will bring. Because I like to drink my coffee black. Every now and then I'll get yours. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's a nice little switch up of things. I'll still drink it. Let's see what you guys want us to talk about. And go Bills. At some point, I promise we will look at CrowdStrike. You're always asking me about some rando symbols.
I love some CrowdStrike.
Let's go to Sharif.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there on the screen is to join Joseph and I on the Midday Show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. You got to be a subscriber in order to vote and engage with us in the chat, so make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. Here's a look at all 4 major averages, all 4 in the green today, being led here by none other than the Russell 2000, up well over 1%. Well, not well over, up over 1% at the moment, being followed by the NQ, up 1/3%, the Dow and the ES, basically trading which one is higher in any one moment, both up 1/4%. Good look for the market in general. Let's look, though, as at the first ticker, as cited by you, Apple down after WWDC announcements. Basically responded to that keynote, sending this one down aggressively into that $200 area, barely above 200 right now, guys. Basically just announcing some new liquid glass designs as well as some new Apple Intelligence features, boys.
What, you don't like the emojis that they announced too?
Did they announce new emojis?
I don't know. I thought at one point they were talking about emojis as I roll my eyes. There was some stuff, some cool stuff, I suppose, in chat, and a little bit of a, following along with Google with some of the translation stuff, which I'll tell you, it's cool when you're traveling. Like I haven't used any of the voice stuff, but I love all the, just the video instant translation. It helps with all the menus and stuff.
Let's go, NVIDIA.
Here, I'll let you. I'm not in Apple. But I'll let you do Apple because I want to get to Nick's super chat after. I'm not in Apple, and I think it's just, let it settle down after the event. Last year, this is kind of what happened. And the first day was to sell the news, and I don't remember if it was immediately after, but there was a nice little relief rally the next couple of days.
For me, it was just simple, man. You got to have that ability to trade things when they're moving around, and I think that I do. So on Apple, we went long at 204, 204.50. I mean, this was right before the event, just because I like 204. Now, getting involved in something before an event, we saw Google move around, we see Apple move around today. I've been sitting here for long enough that, experience has to start paying off some point, right? And we've already seen this before. So as soon as it broke 204, I was like, nah, that's enough. We've seen, this be horrendous, especially if it doesn't give what the people want. And as soon as we broke 203, man, I waited for it. It bounced back up. I just shorted. I was like, I'm going to go short against 203. And then once we did that, it absolutely collapsed into 200, giving us $3 winners. And we got out on the way down. It was really collapsing pretty fast there. Then you could sort of, if we zoom in a little bit here just to see what's going on with the volume, you could see that the volume sort of started to die off, right? So once we started testing 200 flat a bunch of times, remember, these are $3 winners. Like once we started seeing all of that, we got a lot out there at 201.50. It looked like we maybe wanted to bounce a little bit there, but then it just kept on collapsing back through. And then 3 outs down there really sets the tone for me for the rest of this trade. And right now I don't know, man. I probably have under 2% left. I was actually waiting for view up again at that same price, 203. So we'll just hold it back in for Apple back down into $200. Again, I was saying this on the chat, traders got to trade. When this is happening, I'm looking for levels, I'm getting into it. That's the trade for Apple, man. It's going to be a good one, and let's just wait to see what winds up happening next. Any lower, and I think I'm a buyer of Apple. 600 million CarPlay users was something that I saw. That was pretty interesting to me. Didn't realize they have that kind of user growth on that one. I don't even really like Apple CarPlay. But so that's going to be interesting to improve that. A few cool things about the chat and things like that. I don't know, man. I turned it off actually after about like a half hour. So I just wait to hear that news with Perplexity or something. But I have no. Is it still going on? I don't know anything.
Oh, I turned it.
Okay, so it's still going on. So I don't know. I'll just wait and see if we break $200. Otherwise, probably out around that 203 area. But there's Apple. It was great. And Apple a day keeps your P&L up and away.
I like that. Great rhyme. And thank you for the super chats here. There's now another one by David Tretsiak. I'm going to get to, before we go to Sharif, Nick Dubs. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you had a great weekend as well. Look on Teradyne on the daily time frame, and you're in a swing. You're looking for 93 as a first profit spot. Okay, Teradyne. Hey, good name, first of all. That said, I think I know what you're getting at, usually. Like, you're pretty much right into prior lows. You want that 93. When I look at this, it's like, isn't there room to 100 for more of a gap fill? I suppose it depends on where you look, man. Everyone has their own risk to reward. Where you're in from the long, you're in from the 50 period. In from the 50 period, I usually like room to this 100 to 105 level. Personally, if I was in a swing, but it looks like a pretty good one in there. I don't know exactly when they would have reported because I haven't really followed it. And David Tretsiak, Canadians in Edmonton were so nice. Say Canadians are pretty nice. Game 2, lost voice in Rogers, declared to U.S. Customs, heading home. Edmonton wins Game 3. They laughed. Never fly United, even first class. Let's go Oilers. I don't know why they hate on United. I can't say I've been on them in a while. I'm down with the Oilers winning. Obviously, Canadians want to see that. Appreciate you, David Tretsiak. Joking around in a good way this time with the border. What's not a joke is the rally that Tesla is on here today. So good. I was very close on Friday. I almost pulled the trigger selling another third of Tesla. I was like, you know what? Let's not overreact. And thankfully, it's worked out.
Some mixed headlines today for Tesla, guys. Started out the day with a bit of a down move. Bayer downgrading Tesla to neutral from buy, but maintaining that same, maintaining that same price target of $320. Later on in the day, Danny Ives chimed in, calling Tesla the most undervalued AI play Danny Ives, ever the bull, boys.
The most undervalued AI play.
Tesla?
Well, all the other AI companies, I guess, are all looking really good right now. Like, pull up a chart of an AI company, it probably looks really good.
Yeah.
And Tesla's chart doesn't. So, I mean, by default, yeah, it's hard to really argue with that comment, right? Because FSD is basically, AI powered. So I get it. And then, robots are going to be AI powered, all that kind of good stuff. But, I was looking for the short Tesla underneath the 50-period moving, 200 on the daily. And it tried a couple of times underneath yesterday's lows, swung 0 for 2. It hasn't completely pressed into where this thing fell off on Friday, but remembering Friday's action, it was, kind of mixed results unless he had the 05 short early, and then there was one long consolidation trade off of the 300, eventually breaking down pretty much right here through 299, and that gave you your win. So looking for the same thing, like if we just consolidate 300, prove that we can't actually break through, I think you could go back into the same thing we're looking for on Tesla. I still think, ultimately, you've had a nice bounce from all the battle that was going on between Elon and Trump on Thursday, and you've managed to hold a couple of lows since then, but you haven't even broken through that 305. Like, that initial bounce spot was then Friday's resistance. I think that's when it gets back bullish again. And when you can really clear through that resistance at 305, I'll feel a heck of a lot better. That's also the 200 period on the daily.
Tesla. Okay. Yeah, Tesla. I mean, this was one that, we talked about switching up our play there on, oh God, very near 300 again, eh? Switching up our play on Apple. On the sticky note here, actually, yeah, we did have it written down as 295 short. And so that's what we tried, man. We didn't try it the first time, and I was like, you know what, man, Tesla does not smell right to me here this morning when we were doing this kind of a move and the futures weren't really getting this aggressive. And I was like, why is Tesla going up? Generally moving with stories, not doing that today. So we tried it. We missed that first time. The next time it came in, we tried it. We got a little bit out there for $1 and change, and then it ripped up, and we took the L right there, breaking through 295, and haven't looked at it since. But yeah, Tesla's definitely on one again, man. I mean, 200 period, 50 period, really like this stock. Breaking that 301 is probably a trade. So we'll wait till we get up to there right now. But hey, man, like, we're $1.10 in the money on Apple, by the way. I just took that. Like, this is what we're doing. We're $1.07 in the money on Archer. We're $2 in the money on AMD. Because I do whatever I want. Joseph, $2.17 right now, $4 in the money on Amazon. By the way, if Amazon breaks $2.17, we're out. We tweeted that out as well. And then we're 46 cents in the money on NVIDIA. So it's just kind of like, Tesla was not really been on the mind today. I've got 5 positions, they're all kind of rocking. There goes Amazon to the downside. So again, there's a $4 winner right there. So maybe now we'll start to look somewhere else. But the market may be underneath. I don't know. We let Amazon go all the way up. Probably should have busted it right there as well. Let's go talk about Robinhood. But although I haven't looked at it yet, we will with you guys.
Robinhood not going to get added, at least this quarter, into the S&P after weeks and weeks of speculation, leading to a bit of a down move here to the tune of 4 3/4, but didn't end there for Robinhood. They got more negative catalyst today as Redbird Atlantic downgraded them to a sell, but did raise the price target, boys, from 40 to 48 bucks.
Yeah, just a case here where people were buying into it. And sell the news could have been if they got in. Sell the news also can be when they don't get added to the index. And we think it's an opportunity. I think it's an opportunity, maybe not today, to just pile in on the first day. But if this was breaking out, this double top on the daily, rallying in the anticipation of being added to the index, it could still happen sometime, maybe this quarter, maybe more likely next or at the end of the year. So the first place I'd look for a bounce would be prior consolidation levels, prior high 67, and then look for a bounce play in Robinhood. Missed it today. There's no question asked. I mean, yeah, it was a bit of a miss. And I know we were going through rapidly in the morning show and didn't quite get to this one at the open. But 72, if you go back to last week, I don't want to say ignore Friday, but if you ignore Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you essentially had the same level just around 72. That's proving to be a bit of resistance. I think this sets up pretty good for a breakout above that 72 level. Of course, being at 71, Doesn't look like it's got the juice to get there yet, but I think that should be on the radar. I love it when prior support gets reaffirmed in a strong stock. I like the bottoming tail here at 70 for at least one day. I think it's made a nice little base. Let's see if it can do it for a couple more days before putting the buyback on here in Robinhood. Great stock.
Yeah, okay. Let's look at this together. So Robinhood, again, you know, we always talk about, by the way, at least I looked back and I was like, okay, at least we're in the money on SoFi. I'm about 25% or so up on that one, but it's nothing like what Robinhood's been doing, right? I mean, Robinhood has been, and they're completely different companies. They're not even close to the same. So they don't do the same kind of business or anything. So people really we should stop comparing them. But it's only because we did that one study when I put that out there when we had that poll, and I was like, they're about the same price. Which one do you guys want? SoFi and Robinhood, but that went the wrong way. Anyways, nice move up there. I think you come back into this 62, 63 area, right into there. I would wait for a pullback on Robinhood. I mean, again, with increasing assets on the board for them, I really like Robinhood and think that there's a good possibility here for them to change the game they already have. So I like it with options becoming more and more popular. Crypto breaking all-time highs by what day is today? By Wednesday, I'd say. I really think that Robinhood has a good chance to go, and it's not even altcoin season yet, by the way. So once that starts ticking, then you'll see some tick booms. That's for sure. And tick boom goes NVIDIA as well, as there's upside play. This is what I'm saying, man. Like I'm here to trade. This stuff is fun to do, but let's handle some business real quick right now. Meet the future of commodity finance. Ticker symbol BSGM. StreamX. Through a bold share exchange transaction with StreamX, BSGM is one of the first NASDAQ-listed companies pivoting fully into real-world asset tokenization. Backed by icons like Frank Giestra and Sean Rusin, BSGM is building a blockchain-powered platform to bring commodity markets on-chain. This $142 trillion commodity market just found its digital future, and its StreamX and its symbol BSGM, go get it now. And we want to thank BSGM for sponsoring up today's show, and also with the interview that they had there with Adara around 12:30. Go back, rewind, and go find the fine gentleman there. Very, very young CEO, I believe. Successful. Very good, hopefully flourishing company getting in on the ground roots there, BSGM. All right. That's enough for me. Robinhood, let's go talk about some crypto, man. You guys know that I recently been buying up crypto, and so far so good here, 109.
There is the chart on crypto right now, Sean. Into highs it goes. There's really no headline other than the about $130 million in liquidated shorts that took place yesterday, looking to go up. Shout out to all the crypto bears.
Yeah, we're just looking at the chart of BSGM. It's pretty hot freaking fire.
Yeah, I was just like, BSGM is up like in the last
in my life.
2 months, 7 million %. Obviously not 7 million %, but I'm just not going to bother doing the math for you there. It was like a dollar stock that went to like $7. No, 700%.
Yeah.
I just went to BTC on the Amex. I don't know why I did that. That's a first. That's a first. I don't know what I meant to put in IBIT. I actually just typed in BTC for some reason. Anyways, we traded IBIT around here, and Bitcoin super strong. I guess we can show you the levels on a higher time frame. Well, essentially, all you did is you gapped above last week's resistance, and in the morning show, I was like, look, pull back into prior high. That was it, like prior week high. So there was a dip into the prior week high. That's when I took the long into the high of the day. I tried one more salvo in at 61.5, kind of a scalp trade. But you just try to like snipe it if you can. Bitcoin, I think, gets back to that. I mean, the all-time high is one thing, but the other thing that's in play here is like the prior. Remember the prior all-time high? Just chilling out that 109. I left that in there, and it's been resistance since we failed 110. So I think that's the next step. Today, I want to see us get to that 109, maybe take that out, and then the next step into that high. So I think there's still some room to go this afternoon. I want to try to buy some dips in Bitcoin. 61.5 looks pretty good for some continuation here in BTC. Well, for IBIT anyways. On BTC, that's probably right around 108.
All right, so just a quick little rundown, man. I mean, this is what we've been talking about. There's Circle was USDC, so we'll, you know, they're a big part of all of this environment as well. But so far here today, Bitcoin, just in the last 24 hours, that'll be your second column right here, going to the downside. Ethereum up 2%. This is basically where I sold Ethereum, 25,550, and we put it into Bitcoin at 103. So far that transaction seems to be going good. We also bought some Ripple at 230 and 220 recently, so we're digging in right now. Solana, I already own a lot of that one, so we'll pass on that. Dogecoin up 19% as well. Cardano's been the number one. I've made the most money in my account on Cardano, although it's not really moving too much right now, 68 cents right there. Buying this thing in the teens was a dream. Lido staked Ether, that's the same thing as wrapped Bitcoin. So other than that, Hyperliquid, so on and so forth. What is the total market cap right now? $3.5 trillion right there. No, trillion or billion? Yeah, a trillion. So we'll have to wait for that one right there. Down 0.2% the last 24 hours, but we're near all-time highs for the whole space. I mean, unbelievable space, like 20 years old, and you're already at 3.5 trillion. This is growing, gone, is what I want to say for Bitcoin. I really, again, really bullish on the space and getting longer, like, you know, selling Palantir, buying Bitcoin, selling, you know, different things, buying some Bitcoins. It's just, it's been great. I told you what my sort of goal is, and we're getting close. So we'll have to wait to see. Buying more Bitcoin, I think, is a good plan. So that's what we're trying to do, and we'll wait and get there, hopefully. Tom Lee calling 3 million. Puff pass, my guy, on that one. But you know, we'll wait to see. Maybe one day we'll get to that level. Yeah, and he's not even high man on the streets.
No, there's lots of.
But we're pretty high man right now on NVIDIA. As there it goes, man. We talk about trading. We talk about making these plays and giving you guys some good ideas and all this. There goes NVIDIA again, man, off of that 142. We buy the dips there. Let's take some more out at 142.80. Just showing you that, you know, all of this hopefully is possible, and another move up there for NVDA. So let's go. Thank you, Erie Pages. What's up? Hope you're doing well. Shout out to everybody that's part of this crew. AMD, the #1 P&L name today at Trader TV Live. Let's go hear what Sharif has to say.
Of upgrades today. Well, a couple of comments by Citi on NVIDIA or AMD today. Maintaining the neutral rating, but boosting the price target, guys, up from 100 to 120 bucks. And AMD responding quite nicely here. Was already on an uptrend, now taking out that 120 level, almost 5%, boys.
Yeah, I had one note for AMD. It was 119.5 break. That was last week's top that we thought, hey man, we thought we might have a chance to break that out on Friday. It didn't. Kind of stalled out like everything else did, but put a nice little bottom. It broke out the 119.5. I think we're getting to 122 again. The best part about this is AMD might just be getting started. If you look at this, if it breaks it's like 122.70 or so. So right in here, this May 14th, hey, it's my dad's birthday. May 14th high. We break that out, next stop, the 200 period moving average, and then maybe moon. So AMD was it was trading underneath a 20 PE. I don't know if it still is. I'd double check. I mean, obviously the price is moving around a bit here. Was trading finally in the teens on a PE basis, and it's starting to get pretty bullish. As bad as it was, it's broken the trend, and now we're continuing, I think, a pretty good upward trend. So I think you can get to this week and the 200 period this week, and then finally break it out. So 119.5 is gone. I have a trailing stop on this, or I'm getting out in front of 122, and then we're buying the next available dip. This in Bitcoin, and this afternoon, I want to look to see if we can't get some dip buys. And Bob Beck, why did it catch a bid today? I don't know if it's the catalyst. Technically speaking, it's just been grinding higher. And it's been pretty strong. But you got to acknowledge it's up 4.5 points today. Like, you've got a lot of names in the chip space that are strong, that are big time up. ARM is up 5%. Micron, hopefully Micron's good. Yeah, 2.5% in Micron. So you have a lot of strength overall in the chip space. I am short Intel. That's mostly because, like, Intel's one of the few stocks which is trending, like, it's trending down since the open. As a chip name, so I've been shorting the pops on this one. We said if it got to 21 and failed, we'd probably look short on Intel, so it's just distinctly different. But yeah, AMD great, just that 119.5 break.
The Apple event is done. Look, I mean, this is a number one name here. We had it on the sticky note. 117 long. Obviously, that doesn't come in. But we absolutely the very first trade of the day here. That's NVIDIA, by the way. Here's AMD. We bought the 119.50s. We bought the 120. We bought the 119.50s again. We bought the 119. So, yeah, man. I mean, this is what it's about right here. So, really happy, obviously, with the trading here today, as we just keep on having some great experiences back in the market. But I really like AMD. It is Advanced Money Destroyer. This name really has been an absolute crusher of value, but maybe now it's finally starting to go back upside. I mean, I'm not buying it here again, so if you guys are, great, but no way. I bought Marvell. I really like that name. We're in the money a little bit on that now, but you would have been in the money on AMD as well. So that's a nice move. If you like it, great. You still have a little ways to go here. I just think there's only one king, and we all know where that is, and that's NVIDIA. So right now we're getting out some more as we broke through the 200 period moving average. NVIDIA slowly moving up the P&L track as actually NVIDIA now number 2 P&L actually, and then Amazon just got overtaken, by the way, because we just had more shares unfortunately on AMD than we did on Amazon. That happened a little too early, and most of our outs here around 214, 214.50. We just had one little small piece that got out there at 217, but that's about it, man. I don't even, Intel has been such a waste of time for investments over the last 50 years that I really feel bad putting money into this, and I've actually got some money in to this one down here at 119, at 119, at 1950 or 1980. I watched it go all the way. Actually, it was before this. I watched it go all the way up here and didn't even get anything out. So silly me. Hopefully next time that happens, I'm able just to dump the whole thing. But yeah, nice move up right now for Intel today, up 2.7%. So we'll look over there at some point. AMD, $2 in the money right now. NVIDIA's moving around, Archer and Apple. Apple's now done. And we'll just let it see if it wants to come back into $200 right now, $1.70 in this one. So yeah, I really like it. Oh, Disney. I mean, I've been talking about Disney for a minute, man. I mean, I hope that some of you have been long this. We didn't sell any of this name, Disney. It's looking like it's getting back into an area where we probably should sell it. Up probably on the Warner Brothers news today. You know, we know that there's some value with splitting up the companies. Obviously, Disney owns ABC as well. So that's making moves right here, right now. Up to 116 and change goes Disney. We've been talking about this name since we were back into these levels. Now, Disney, real cooking up to the upside, man. Take those profits and take your kids over to Disneyland and pay unreal amounts of money for the experience.
You need the gains to go to Disneyland.
Yo.
It ain't you. Where'd this guy come from? How long have you been sitting
What do
here?
you want to talk about?
Look what's going on behind.
I said, what do you want to talk about?
Tell him what you've been doing behind everybody. For
the guys that are chewing holes in the old ones.
Yeah, what the hell, Sharif?
Okay, first of all, don't say. See, when you say the guys that are chewing holes, you give the impression like this is pristine. Like, okay, I might.
There's nothing over here.
I might spill some food.
Not one thing wrong with this.
No, but look, it's perfect. And over there, there's it's almost as if he's just punching the table.
We'll recycle this one.
It's all Sharif. Why don't we just say it's Sharif's spot? I mean, we could show the camera on Sharif's spot. We showed that before.
You can see it.
There it is, right there. I mean, this guy. I don't know why he's so nervous about everything. This guy's picking away.
I don't know what happened.
Neither
we
do
built
I,
that
man.
one after this one. So
He's chiseling.
What is stressful?
Chiseling.
All right. Yeah. Is it the same table exactly, or?
Pretty much. It's
Oh, there's no.
You know what? We should just sign this table and put it up. What are we doing with this table afterwards?
We might keep this one. I don't
Okay,
know.
I was about to sign
You
it.
should burn it in. No, you gotta. You can't sign it in pen, not on wood.
Why not?
There's cooler ways to do it.
Oh yeah, there's way cooler ways. I was just gonna.
What's Chevron?
Maybe not burn it in.
I don't know.
Energy.
Chevron. Oh, CVX.
CVX.
For some reason, I thought you were saying Chevrolet. Therefore, I'm like,
Chevrolet.
What do you call up GM or Ford?
Not bad. It's back above the 50 today.
Yeah, okay, it did come up a little bit. All right. No,
Yeah, I mean, I thought you liked XOM, Randy.
they're asleep today.
Don't
so
be flipping on us. You said you like
XOM 's just
XOM.
kinda,
That's a good snore.
well,
Legit snore.
it is what it is.
These stocks always kind of do that. You got to wait for oil to get going.
Now, energy hasn't been the jam.
Nah.
No, that's not where it's been. You guys, when tech's doing what it's doing, that's where the focus needs to be, everybody. Not necessarily. The energy names, I think they're going to have their time. I'm just going to pull up XLE on a daily chart here. Maybe. I'm just not thinking. I think I bought about once last year XLE. I don't remember exactly when. I'd have to go back and double check, but it's not been a good ride. I don't think it's a place to add just yet. But yeah, maybe you're going to close the 50 period and do something nice. Maybe it's something we'll talk about in the afternoon. In the afternoon when we go over some of the ETFs, if you guys have any questions of those names. But for now, the only energy name that I see in the chat, Kay just mentioned, Plug is not an energy name, but they're an EV name. Plug Power, there was some insider buying, I believe, and there was an announcement this morning. 100 million shares in vol. It's going. It's up 25%. What I don't like about this is all the sporadic. It's very sporadic volume on it. You guys can see here in the volume indicator. So I think you want to buy consolidations if you can, and just be careful. Like, it seems like it just randomly spikes in volume every few minutes, and I'm missing some bars there as well. Looks like Tesla does want to break this 300 finally. If it gets to 305, that was a short zone on Friday, so I think I'd wait for that to try for a third time. But that's the one that did not work today. It's almost as if it drops $10 at the open and you miss that short, sometimes you don't want it on the way back up in the first 30 minutes. You just kind of let it fly for a bit because you missed your short by not taking it in the pre-market. Let's go to Adair.
Here is Plug Power. There actually was another catalyst in this one that I want to talk about. So this morning, announcing an expansion of a strategic collaboration with Allied Green with new 2 gigawatt electrolyzer deals here in Uzbekistan. So Plug Power announced a deal. Of course, also we do have this Form 4 showing that the company's CFO, Paul B. Middleton, bought 650,000 shares at an average price of about $1.03 per share. So this is a purchase just over $650,000 here. Couple different catalysts on watch for PLUG today. Back to you.
All right. I do have to do something here because where's my friend that keeps asking me about what indicators I'm using? All right. I've lost you. Here it is. Ilkin, what's up, Ilkin? All right, let's go over them then just real quickly, man. It's very, very simple. And I think this is the right way to trade, right? And that is just to make it as simple as possible. I have right here, if we zoom in a little bit, this is a 1 minute chart. These are all SMAs. So the 50 period moving average, 50 period SMA is right there. We've been using it on a daily. I started using it on a 1 minute chart. It's all good. Then there's a 200 period moving average as well. So I use this one for more of a trend change, like, which is why we got out there at 217. Maybe Amazon's now trying to fade out a little bit. So we use that as a level there. The 200 period would be sort of used as support just to see, like, hey, if you are chasing something to the downside, where might we be able to find some support? This is all just on a 1 minute chart, right? I've extrapolated them out to a 5 minute chart. I have them on every chart now except for the daily. So this is just what I'm using. And then VWAP, of course, is this purplish blue line. And that's for the that's like the ultimate kind of buy zone. Like if Amazon, like right now with the market coming back down, I don't think I will buy this area there, but VWAP, probably something to look at, especially when it coincides with key levels, right? And so 215.50, 215, something like that would be something that I'd be interested in there for Amazon. So that's it, man. Those are all of the levels. And then the thing that really matters to me is just having that ability to read the stock, right? And try to watch momentum, tape read, and all of that. Like, I think that's my number one I guess ability as a trader would be to try to, take advantage of momentum and what I see on the tape, right? And so for me, like going long there and then reversing into the short, like that, from an L to a W right there real quick, right? So having that ability and then being able to change, and we talk about the spidey sense and all that kind of stuff. I think that there's really nothing more important than that because anybody can read lines. But basically nobody can make money. So it's about having the ability to enter and exit trades at the right time because these lines will mean nothing to you if you don't have proper execution. And I think that's really been the key. So yeah, that's kind of some of the stuff that I've been looking at right there. And then, sometimes you'll get out a little bit too early, you'll get out a little bit too late. But like right there, even on NVIDIA, there's nothing about this trade other than 143 that came in. So we bought the 142 and we got out the 143s. And now when this fades back out a little bit, we don't have as many shares because we do it like this, right? And so, yeah, that's just some of the stuff that I've been working on. And I hope you guys, take that from what it's worth. And like you guys know, we all trade so differently around here. It's It's crazy. So, you know, take what you want from each of us, but that's something to take from me.
Yeah, I think every trader has to find, like, even if you use any indicators at all, just make sure they work. Most people have been through that journey of like a million ones. When I was a trainee, I had way too much crap on I had like so much. And actually, I should start at the beginning. At first, we weren't even allowed to look at charts. I don't remember how long it was, but there was like at least a week or two before you're like, just look at the level 2 so you can understand bid ask and tape reading and that kind of thing and build that skill. And then when I started using charts, I wanted to use trend lines because that's what I liked, and I was throwing them everywhere. And I mean like literally everywhere. It was too many. Now I try to keep it relatively simple with those. Look, you're going to see on my charts, on a daily chart, you'll see a 50 and a 200. On an intraday chart, you'll see volume and VWAP. And I'll usually have at least 1 or 2 charts where I'm messing around with some stuff. I might put an RSI on one of my black charts every now and then, just as an indicator. But I like to use trend for entries. One of the things that I think you can, just make sure whatever works. Make sure you find something that works and on a time frame that makes sense to you. Because if you're not a day trader, then what do you care about a trend line on a day trade? If you're a swing trader, then you probably care a little bit more about weekly charts and higher time frames than the 15 minutes, let's say, that we look at every now and then. So just one quick note here, not much happening overall in Palantir. I was going to get that in a second, but if we break trend, that'll be underneath 121.25, and I'm out of AMD. Palantir, it's pulling back, keeps trying to break out again. In theory, this did break the trend, but then it held on to this 131 area. So I like the fact that it held 131, which is prior resistance. So if it can dip in, retest 131, that's a good buy zone. And IBIT, which I said I'd try to get back into Bitcoin on a dip, it's trying to pull back into 61.5. That was the morning, call it the lunchtime resistance where it eventually broke out from. So I want to see 61.5 on IBIT before we go into any kind of a dip buy on that name. Not many small caps that are on my radar right now, but I do still have eyes on that Coreweave, which is completely allergic to the volume weighted average price today. You had one shot to get this. When we left you guys, I'm like, yeah, maybe at lunchtime it'll go into VWAP. It's still like a good, let's say at 160 here, ahead of that 156. If anything, this stock, I'm feeling like I don't want to chase it up here. Any failed break of the all-time high on Coreweave is the one place I take a shot looking short. So we're gonna looks like we're gonna get a bit of a dip buy here in IBIT. No jinx, and hopefully Palantir as well, though it doesn't seem to be moving around quite as much. At least not anymore. Palantir has been great today. It's just not moving much right now. Yeah, Palantir has been fantastic. All right, so just real quick. NVIDIA just made a move back up to 75. So I'm starting to clear a little bit more out here. I mean, the market did make a move down. So let's see if we can hold now a little bit of this crypto. We're going to hold a lot of the crypto, but a little bit of NVIDIA here to get back up to the upside. I still do have a quarter of that position right here left, a quarter left. So basically a quarter out here, a quarter out here, a quarter out right here again. And now we'll wait to see if we can go higher and higher on this play. So that's what's going on. All hail. What's up, Aura Alpha right there? I don't know who your stonk lord is, if it's me. Hello, but thank you for putting that out there again. Someone said if I could see them with the market fade towards the bell, will it? I don't know if that's. I didn't read the rest of your question. Will Tesla fail? Will Tesla fall back to VWAP? Okay, let's look. What's up, sports and stonks? Those are two of my favorite things. So let's go and have a quick look. Sports and stonks. If you just included family in there, then that would be everything. But all right, what did you talk about? Tesla. Okay, so right there, 3 bills. All right, so let's just be real about Tesla here. It's not going back to VWAP anytime soon. It's not going to get back to 293. So if that's going to be your question, which it was, then my answer is no. So that's not happening. It's way stronger than everything else. I mean, mind you, if there's a story in the market, right? We never want to say nothing's happening, but I would really look somewhere else. It hasn't even seen VWAP all day. It saw 1 minute there and it acted like it wasn't there. That was 287 right down there at 940. It didn't even, I mean, this is the other thing. What you have to do too is make sure that VWAP means something. It didn't mean anything right here.
It actually saw VWAP there, and then 3 minutes later it was $4 higher. So it didn't stop at that. If it does fall back in, this is a great level, but not because of VWAP, but because this is where those dip opportunities are right here at 93.50. So, yeah, I mean, do I think that Tesla has a chance to come back in? Yes. Look at it respond to this 50-period moving average. We already talked about it. We talked to my brother Ilkin there in the chat. Yeah, look, it's a trend changer, and it really hasn't broke it. So I would say your first level to buy might be 297 if you're short right now. On Tesla, you may want to cover there. And then if you're lucky enough to get this 293, then all hail you, my stonk lord, because then you got that one going. And talk about some stonks, man. I remember going to see whatever this show is, Fast Money, or what was it, Dumb Money.
Dumb Money.
Right there when it premiered here at the Toronto International Film Festival. And that was fantastic. This would be maybe the next one to go, because you've fallen back in right here, back into this level. This is a daily here for game stonk. So if it comes right back in right there, $30, $29 maybe for a bottom there coming for GameStop. So this to me looks like we had that huge move up. Now it fades back out again. This I don't hate this play right now. I mean, I think you'd want to do it with options, but if you did it with shares, I mean, a break back down below this 27 area, I've seen worse trades, that's for sure, as this one's trying to go back upside right now. So I like GameStop in this area for a name. I bought Amazon recently, breaking through 2 bills. That's been working out like crazy. We really love this stock. I love CRM. We talked about that lately. I bought this one on dips. I just think one of the best names in this space, and plus a CEO that I absolutely love with Mark Benioff. So I think if anyone's going to figure out that dude's going to, he's made me a lot of money. So we're going to stick with that. And then I bought Marvell. I looked, $64.90 is my average price because I couldn't buy this one on the CDR side. So I just paid hard cash right there. So we're in the money $5 on this name, looking for more, although our buddy says that he sold. And then BBA.
Already?
Yeah, man, he took the quick.
Oh.
I mean, come on, man. I gave the guy 10+% there in a week. But BBAI, more than that. BBAI right here, nice downside play as well. Something to possibly get in and out of there. Big Bear AI. I'll wait for that one to break. And then obviously just buying all of, buying XBI, buying JP Morgan's actually too big of a position of mine. I have to get out of that. And then the Nasdaq has been absolutely great. So there's many things that are working right now in the market other than oil.
Forget Amazon and Meta.
Yeah, I mentioned Amazon. Amazon's now my largest holding.
Meta's getting up there for me. I came in there with it was like 2 years ago, or I don't remember exactly when it was. I was like, I don't like Apple more than I don't like Apple more than I like Meta. And then this year I was like, I don't like Alphabet more than I like Meta. So like it's just resulted in buying more Meta, which has ended up good. Just a couple of things here. I know I did trail out of AMD. It broke this trend line. So essentially, like usually I draw a trend line, if not from the bottom, it would be from VWAP. But hopefully this candle makes it obvious why I started the trend line here. There's just this one weird candle where it failed. It broke VWAP and failed back in. And so that's where I started the trend line. So when it closed underneath, then I jumped out of it. But I want to give a shout out right there to Prop XP, everybody. This segment being brought to you by them. Because if you want a prop firm that's transparent, fair, and actually wants you to succeed, and listen up. Props XP gives you 1 to 200 leverage, one of the highest out there with no high watermark. Fast payouts, real support, and a team that's on your side. That's why they're rated 4.6 on Trustpilot and climbing. Use the code TraderTV to get 50% off your challenge right now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description box and start trading smarter with Prop XP. Pass the challenge and get funded. That's all you got to do. We'll go up to Adara. Ooh, chuck of all trades. No.
Push here for DJT. Just seeing an article come out here from CoinDesk. Basically, what we have here is the global head of research at a Bitcoin financial firm called NYDIG, writing here in a report that apparently, based on a specific variety of metrics, DJT here, Trump Media, is one of the cheapest Bitcoin treasury plays. Now, in case you missed it, the end of May, DJT announced here some, raising money for a Bitcoin treasury strategy. Now, it's worth noting, apparently this actual report from this analyst came out on June 6th, so Friday, but it's being recirculated here, the CoinDesk report. As you can see here, a bit of an influx of interest to the upside for DJT when this gets published. Back to you.
Oh, everyone wants in the Bitcoin game. You know, it is what it is. Love some Bitcoin. I was just messing around, checking all trades. I was looking to buy a dip on Palantir, which obviously it's not dipping. As you can see, it's not dipping back into 131. It just challenged the highs. It's topped here several times, and you're not really at the all-time high just yet. You can see why you'd be looking into the short. I just feel like there's still room. Like, you go back to Thursday, like, remember the mess that happened on Thursday? The top was 132.5, maybe even 133 in the morning. So I just think you have more room to the upside here if the market's going to continue this slight climb up. So I think I want to look to buy the dips here on PLTR. It just hasn't given me anything into that 131 yet. The key being yet. IBIT, I'm sitting at 50s on IBIT, or just in front of 50s, and that's now stalling at 60 on the way back. I don't know if we're going to be able to get in all the way at 61.5. And 61.5 or VWAP here for me on IBIT. 108 would be roughly the equivalent area that we try to get into that bad boy. Yeah, so that's what we're looking for next. GZ saying look at short Tesla. It worked on Friday in the afternoon, but I think you have to remember why it was working on Friday, because it spent the entirety of lunch on Friday telling you that if 299 broke, you wanted to be short. Like, we were watching this all throughout the middle of the day on Friday, just bounce off 299, bounce off 299, couldn't get away from 300. And then on volume, you could see the volume spike, and then it was just a flat bottom break. So maybe it does the same thing. It's got 299 in the crosshairs again, but either it gets to 305 up tops, or I think you're waiting for it to show you the first move. Like, all you had to do was let it show you the volume spike and take the break down on Tesla on Friday, and then that was your one shot to win. It was eerily similar for me because I'd been 0 for 2 on it, and then we got the breakdown. So I'm not there yet on Tesla.
All right, I'm pretty much there myself. I'm gonna wait. We do have this 297 coming in right now, so if that can come in, that's where the bid. And I mean, we just dropped $2, so $2 more brings us right there. So I think I like that. We'll wait to see. I'm bidding there right now, so if it comes into 297, then you'll see me go long on Tesla. So that's what I'm going to be doing when that comes in. All right, we talked about a quarter. We got out of another 5%, so now we're holding 20%. That's Fannie Mae. We're looking at that a little bit today. Not much is going on there. Once that volume picks up, we'll start going on the pink sheets again, but not doing too much. 3 million shares on that one today, Fannie Mae. All right, so we got out more there. I mean, look, a blind man can see that was the top, so we're getting out. And like I said, we're not going to be here to host. I mean, I'm here to host, but I'm also here to trade. So obviously, as we show some of these levels out, man, I'm going to be starting to get some out and not just hold anything to get like a good look here. This is why I have all of these outs all the time. It's like I see it, I see these levels, and I just get out. Do I obviously wish that we're holding a little bit more of Amazon to get going to the upside, of course, but at least we still had that trade on, and that was a good one. So for me on NVIDIA, I do still think we can get to VWAP, but just sitting here and not getting out of those trades when I can kind of see that that's a possible top, I'm going to get out of a little bit more here. There we go. Did we get it? Yeah, we did. We get an 89 fill there. Okay, so now it blasts up. So now we'll just get another piece out. Now we have left on this one just over 15%, getting out like 2.5% or so at a time. We'll see now and wait to see for the end of the day, because power hour is only 5 minutes away. Power hour doesn't really mean anything, just the last hour of the day. I think it was coined there on CNBC or something like that when they had one of their shows called the Power Hour. So we'll wait to see if anything does come through. There's no economic numbers normally in this hour or anything like that. And then, you know, recently right now, I saw someone in the chat, I don't know if it was Erie Pages or whatever, they said, "Holy snooze, Batman."
Oh my God.
And yeah, right now we wish that got some bangs. With the Joker would come in here and start fighting us. But for right now, we're at the same levels we were at noon right now in the Nasdaq. So it's been pretty sideways. I mean, we did have some peaks and valleys in here, but for right now, the Nasdaq remains kind of just chilled out right there. WFC, I liked around 75. Where are we on that one? Okay, not there yet. It went down as low as 96 right here. I do hear in my ear that Donald Trump's arriving. I don't know what that means, but I guess he's arriving somewhere.
Yeah.
So, Donald Trump is arriving So once he arrives there, maybe someone will put a mic in front of his mouth, and then we could get something going on again right now. But hey, man, just say something positive about AMD and NVIDIA, because right now NVIDIA is that dollar right now in the money on that one, and that's the most recent play there. And then 245 in the money on AMD as that's starting to go higher as well. I think both these can probably be held right into the close. I mean, we nailed AMD. Like that was great, man. That was a great trade earlier on. Let's see if we can get something else going. I am bidding Tesla down there, and if something else happens, we will hop over to that for sure. Maybe look at some quantum. We still have Archer Aviation, you know, so we've got a little bit of everything over here. I know you were just in something. You're out of it.
Well, I just got out of AMD on the trail.
Nice, good.
But, well, it's actually going higher, so. I was considering a swing trade in AMD, but I've convinced myself that if you're waiting for the 200 period, you're waiting for the 200 period. We'll go to it. Daryl was just going to talk about Robinhood, but we can come back and discuss the hooded one.
You guys know Donald Trump has, in fact, taken the podium or sat down, as it were, at this Invest America Roundtable event. This is supposed to start about an hour ago. Bit of a late start for this event. Now, it's worth noting, we were seeing, according to Washington Post, some CEOs are actually expected to attend this event, including the CEOs of ServiceNow, Uber, Dell, Robinhood. I know Vlad Tenev confirmed he's going to be there, so just keep an eye out for anything market moving from this event. We never know if things are going to move the market, but it's always worth noting when Donald Trump is talking, which he currently is. Back to you.
Yeah, and on that note, Hood is one that, I guess we were talking about this one in the morning, like if we could break out the 72, and that obviously never happened. I had a stop order for the long break on 72, which I subsequently canceled after it failed multiple times. But the president talking and maybe crypto being a little bit in fold, if Robinhood wants to make that breakout here, I just feel like everyone's the wrong word. Those that were buying for the addition into the S&P 500 that didn't get it, the short term and the weaker hands have probably done some selling here today that makes some sense, and the longer term hands are probably going to hold for it to see if it dips into the 60s or maybe underneath 62. I just feel as if you have any kind of positive news, this one's a nice little breaker at that 72 level. So that's going to be on my radar. Maybe even look for like a cheeky entry if we can get it breaking through 71. Just like take this little consolidation break through 71 just because the president's talking. Give it to this prior low, which is right in here. It's only about 25 cents or so, and then play it into the 70 level. I just feel as if Robinhood's not going to be asleep all afternoon, especially with their crypto being in focus. So if we don't get the dip buy in Bitcoin, which I'm not sure we're going to, I'm going to take the shot on Robinhood here. Still like that 72 level overall. I can't say that I'd be buying Robinhood up here in the long term, because I wouldn't be. I like the stock, and if I really liked it up here, I'd be buying it in my personal account. But I'd need it to drop a little bit more than that. But for now, we're going to take this break of 71. And it looks like Tesla wants to take out the high as well. Bitcoin just doesn't want to give it to me. So if I can't get that, I'm taking this break here at 71 on Robinhood. On a 3-minute, the bottom of this consolidation will be my out on the breakout trade. It needs to go about 10 pennies, and we'll be triggered in. I'm only crossing 6 or 7 cents. I don't think we'll need to cross very far to be able to get that fill. No, it's Robinhood.
Oh, yeah.
Although there was
you'll get the fill.
On Circle on Friday.
Oh, Circle? Oh, but different story.
No, it's just like Circle. It's like comical, like the slippage that you could see, there was a break on Circle at 100 where you thought there was liquidity on the stock, and then it was like at 101.50 or something, like so fast. It was laughable. I feel like liquidity was so much better on day one, obviously on day one, because there's so much more interest in it. Day two, it was like it was ground in half, and I haven't traded it here today. I would imagine it's even worse today for Circle. Not a very good day for Circle. Strong day for the market, but that really just couldn't get off the schneid. After everything it did for 2 days last week, really gave you the goods on the long, and disappointing today for Circle.
Yeah, I mean, that Circle trade for me was hit it and quit it. I think that if you add everybody, what we all did on Circle there, that was probably the biggest single stock ever on Trader TV Live. P&L wise for Circle on its IPO day. So congratulations to anybody that hit that, man. And yeah, you were just looking at it. Let's look at another one then. Let's look at Coreweave. Another name that just continues to blast higher. This is actually looking like a much better short than Circle is because you've already been up here and we've seen these levels. Circle's kind of just figuring it out for itself. This is one of those names here, Coreweave, as you know, a lot of you know that I'm all over this name. We were all over it last week. It necessarily wasn't the greatest of trading last week on this, but we'll see what we can do here with Coreweave. Hopefully it does make a little bit of a downside play there, but up to 165 and, you know, need to let it settle. Maybe breaking that 200 might be something. I'd like to see it break this level. I got to go pay for shorts though. 159 looks like a much, much better play there for Circle. If it's something that you're interested in, that's looking like a decent break right there. 159 on Circle. So that could be something. We did get more out of it.
Coreweave, you mean?
Coreweave, sorry, my bad. Yeah, we did get more out of NVIDIA there. Now we're about 10% left. We got some more out as it's not breaking that high. We got out of some Archer there as well, right there at 11.25. I like getting out at 25s. We've talked about that a couple times. Quarters, see, like here's out at 50s, out at 50s again. And again, we're long at 1030. Like this was a great trade right off the open. And another name that we did have written down on here on our sticky note, but at the end of the day, this one really had some help. We saw Rocket Lab as well. Oops, I did it again. RKLB.
It does trade on.
Whoopsies. It does trade on Blue Ocean, yeah, but that's not what I wanted to look at. There's Rocket Lab right there, straight up and straight down. So Archer maybe a decent name to get out of pretty soon. What's up, Adara?
It's in the danger zone.
Dal speaking right now here at this event here. This is the Donald Trump Invest America roundtable. This is basically about his plan to give these accounts, this funding to new babies born in America. He's praised Michael Dell really highly here, DELL for its part, trying to take out previous resistance at 115 as of right now, unable to take out this level. Back to you.
Yeah, because it's, I was just sort of saying, there's some conspiracy theories out there that part of the push for, well, I mean, it's a crypto push, and you're seeing the administration like it, is what's the other thing that you can invest in US dollars? US-denominated stable coins, everybody. So if all of a sudden foreign governments are buying it too, hey, that's good for all of us bulls. But I feel like that could be, I've seen it every now and then. I think the zero hedge crowd, you see some of those rumors in there. But as crypto moves higher, Bitcoin, Robinhood broke that 71. I keep looking at IBIT, and it's not really giving me the dip that I want. But Robinhood broke that 71 level, so got the break in. It just tagged. I mean, it tagged 12. That's the first place I put an offer. I have one at 33. Larry Bird. And then we'll look for this prior, essentially just in front of the next resistance level. And then the high of the day from the open is like 71.80. So we'll see if it can press into this. Once it breaks the quarters, I'll move my stop up into break even. So that's one. As I mentioned, Bitcoin, I'll just cancel the dip buy on Bitcoin because Bitcoin just made a new fresh high. So we'll have to ride with Robinhood because Bitcoin's already at the high. So we'll look to see if we can't get those 30s. I mean, Intel is just kind of going very, very slowly down while the market's going very, very slowly up. This one's missing some data. Yeah, basically short here at 61. Just looking for the breakdown in Intel. I got a bid in front of 50s. I have a bid in front of 40s next. But Robinhood, the newest one. And remember, who knows, man? Like anybody could hit the podium and say something positive at this little conference. Say something positive or negative. So always trading with a stop. I will move that stop as we glide higher and higher. Lomo saying Tesla's approaching 301.50. I guess it does want to break out today. It's different. It's very different from Friday. Remember on Friday on Tesla? So yeah, you had a consolidation that was holding 299 as support, but on Friday it was like channel down into 299. This time it's like channel up supporting 299. It's very different from the attitude of the market that we're seeing here on Tesla. Is Tesla was a dog that seemed to be just barely hanging on to a level. In this case, that 99 now turns into a bit of a dip buy spot. So we took our shot at Robinhood. It just gave us those 33, so I'm going to move my stop in a break even, hold for the afternoon high, which is 71.80. And if we get a 72 break, that'll be a separate trade over here on Robinhood. Boston Franks as the Coreweave chart looks good. I can't go along that stock. You can trade it. I just look at that chart and think that everybody and their mother is looking for the place to short that thing into like oblivion. That's all you ever hear, all these online shorters and all these, those trying to...
That'd be a reason to go long.
Well, I know, as a trade, yeah. I just can't, I couldn't bring myself. Like, it's $160. This thing was, what, $40 when it came out? That's what we were longing that thing at? And it's wild. Congratulations to anyone that's in it, but it's like, to me, it's just disconnected from... any kind of reality. There's going to be a big pullback on this, but you haven't been able to win on a short more than one day on Coreweave. So for those that are trying to hold it overnight and swing it short, good luck to everybody out there. It's a great looking chart, one that I would not touch with a 10-foot pole outside of day trading.
Danger.
It's very dangerous, Adara.
Just be aware here, there's going to be 2 CEOs actually making prepared comments, it sounds like, at this Donald Trump Invest in America event. We know Invest America. We know we already had some comments from Michael Dell, but it sounds like Michael Dell, CEO of Dell, is going to speak again, as is Dara Khosrowshahi. He's also set to speak again here, or speak here today. That is the CEO of Uber, so keep an eye on UBER and DELL, as both these CEOs are set to make comments at this roundtable. Back to you.
Uber.
Yeah, we really love Uber, man. Uber's been a name that we've been talking about since $60, and I sort of built you through it. If you go over to the Twitter machine there, you'll see that we've been posting all of our buys for Uber to the point where we're long 64 and change, I think, on Uber. We really, really like that one, man. OMH has been one. Omni Home, another halt right now on this name. This has been halt, all the way to the upside right here, as it's only up 300%. So we'll have to wait to see what's happening. I just say that jokingly with Omni here. And as it just continues to make new moves higher right now, 260. But this is a good level. I think if you get to 260, watch out. You may want to sort of regroup a little bit on that one if you do get that. We're still holding on to NVIDIA because I think that if this China sort of talk here, I don't know if there's going to be anything coming today, but okay, what's up? Hey, Aura Alpha, you asked so nicely. He says on here, or she, of course, and make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe and then get going on there right now. DJT, please. Good, sir. All right, thank you for that. All right, so we can look at DJT. I'll probably get out of some Apple. I mean, Apple, we're in the money now, $1.63 now on Apple right now. But wow, yeah, DJT, there you go. I mean, sort of to Neil's point there, I mean, if we're going to talk more about stable coins and more about that whole sort of space, yeah, I mean, maybe there is something here with DJT. And again, like, Bitcoin's going on GameStop's balance sheet, DJT similarly as well, and Ethereum trusts all over the place.
Mara was going to start holding as well.
Mara is, yeah. I mean, I think all of these plays that involve Bitcoin. I really like Bitcoin. You guys know that. So moving forward, yeah, there goes DJT. And I don't know. As a chart, I don't want to equate, Bitcoin, DJT and GameStop, obviously different companies, and I'm not even sure what either one of them does, but down into there, this $20 level has held pretty decently. We did dip below it and got into 17 and 15 back in April there, but again, that's tariffs, right? So if you sort of go away from all of that, and then you get away from last Thursday where we had Elon talking all about that, and some sort of bad vibes there for DJT, you're now way back up from that. I think you can go long at 1950 or so off of that Trump turmoil bottom and see what happens from there. So I think DJT going right now, obviously, as Trump hits the stage and mic there. But for me, for Apple, I may get out of this. We are starting to come back in. I mean, we just bounced off $200.50. I'm going to put a bid there and see if we can get out. I mean, if we break lower, I have such a very small, well, now we're way up. All right, $200.75 maybe for Apple. And again, it's if we bounce, if we go down, then I'd rather look at 200 with clean mind, whether or not I just don't want to cover there, then be like, that's it. Maybe it's a long down there. So let's get out as it comes back in. We're underneath. What's up, Ilkin? We are at the 50 period moving average right there. So that's something to look at. And that's giving me some kind of worries that maybe we do break a little bit higher. So what about an out? We can change our out now. Our out on this was, we're short at 203. It was 203.25. is where we were getting out. So 25-cent winner to take on 150 cents. So far, so good. But we're going to get out right there if it breaks 201.75. So how about that? 201.81. We'll get out of 100% if it does break that. So out for 40 cents up. And then if it goes down, we'll get out for 80 cents down if it does make that move. 2-1 on our out. But realistically, I still do think that 200 could be in play. The problem is, man, snoring time right now for the futures. Not doing jack.
Only because Apple's down 1.2%. Not that anyone would be obliged to pick this. Remember last week we discussed doing sort of like the Jimmy Carter thing.
Yeah.
But like you have to pick short. So like we'd all just kind of throw in a 1 or 2 short, and we got to pick a time to do that because I think we should do it. I think it's interesting. Because
I'll pick a time.
No, well, I mean, I kind of feel like we want to have Joe.
Yeah, tomorrow.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, make sure,
Okay,
like, not
tomorrow.
right now.
We'll
I thought you were going to say right now.
No. I mean, you and I could do it right now.
We could, but I want to make sure Joe and Sharif would also get an opportunity.
Well, of course, yeah. We'll get a Dara's pick.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's nice to do when the market's at the highs and everything is so bullish to be forced to not just pick a bunch of things that are great. But very quickly, Hood is tagging that top. Remember, like anything can get said at any moment. I don't know if it's going to break out that 72, but at this point, if we lose the 71.5, I'm out. It was a quick little scalp off that 71 break, and this had all to do with, hey, you have some CEOs, including theirs, and there's some Bitcoin names that are moving around here. It was in a tight consolidation, so just take the tight area break and give it to that prior low, and then see if it can just play the range. Right now, it is playing the range. So the trail's at 71.5. I'll let it fly into like the, I don't know what you call it, the local. We'll call this the local high. I'm sure there's a name for it, like the top since the open. Whatever. I'll call it the local high at 71.8. If we break that, then I'll put in a trend and see how far we can hold it. Jack C dubs, SMCI plays. I was thinking short 44 this morning. That never happened. And the only reason why I was thinking short 44 was what happened last week. All the selling was at that 44 level. So yeah, it really doesn't seem like much of anything. There's a bit of a wedge on the 15-minute. The only problem with a wedge on the 15-minute is if I'm taking a trend break on a 15-minute at 312, yeah, I want lower time frame trades. Because how much time is there for that kind of a setup to really go for me? Not much, because it has to confirm a break, close above, and then by then you got like 15 minutes for the trade to work, and then the market's closed. So it's a good-looking wedge trade. Maybe tomorrow's something worth looking at for continuation on SMCI. I do believe this breaks 45 one day, and you can go flying. But it's 44 resistance on SMCI. It's a nice-looking wedge here for a break in either direction. That setup's really. You could take it. I'm not in love with it. I think most of the things moving right now are either Apple, Tesla, crypto-related names, which oddly enough involves like GameStop these days. Like look at GameStop, volume spike breaking out, Hood breaking out, iBit breaking out. That's what you want to be in this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm trying to hold on to all of these right now to see if we can get up higher, man. AMD still 250. And on that note, I did get out another piece of I'm just trying to tell you guys the truth here, right? And I mean, we all talk about this, and I still have shares left. Like, we'll all trade different. I just, trying to get it out at these levels one more time right now. So just in holding all of this, let's see where we get going there. Let's have a look at some quantum names. I mean, we're kind of just looking at the same names here today. 1880 for QBTS down 2.5% today. Okay, so let's look at a 5-minute chart. This gives us a great little look down here at 1780. We just actually touched onto that. So wish I would have looked at that a little more carefully there with QBTS, because that was a great area right into there. But unfortunately, I don't have VWAP on this 5-minute chart. That's funny, but that's okay. VWAP's the same on every chart, so it doesn't really matter, but it should be on there, so I don't know. Anyways, approaching VWAP right there at 1820 could definitely be something. Oh, here we go. Donald Trump talking about Iran now, so we'll have to wait to see if there's anything going on there. Let's look at SMR if we're going to talk about some nuclear names. So, yeah, again, look at this hold. I mean, you want to talk about VWAP. Look at this thing hold VWAP. Like, okay, thank you right there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good little VWAP trading there on SMR as it's looking to take out the day's high as well. So that has to be watched, man. 34, like if we get back into 35, you could just use this as your route, 34.75. You should be okay. Risk 25 cents to get a nice possible bump right there, as especially if we are starting to talk a little about some nuclear. I got out some of this at 30 bucks, so I'm long at 11 or 12. That was a good one. Some of these names just continue higher and higher.
On long 13.
Yeah, so Uber also right now, we did talk about their CEO making moves here in this conference as well, but 87.50 looks like it wants to hold. This would be a good, I mean, again, like pullbacks into view. It's just the market's not doing anything. So right now you would maybe feel the short rather than anything else. We called Apple back into this level, and it looks like it's coming back in. Remember where we're bidding on this name, $200.77. Hopefully that will come in. You just looked at SMCI. You're already long into Robinhood. So we'll wish you luck on that one.
You mentioned
Tesla was a name that we were all, no, I shouldn't say we were all, but I was definitely looking at that one, and it just keeps on going higher. Remember, we got that VWAP question. I need to change this now to 297 change right there. If we were able to get 298, I think that's a good dip buy opportunity there for Tesla as well. So, yeah, man, whoever just nailed that short at 302, take your profits, man. That's $1 in the money. It's looking pretty healthy to me all the way up here. So watch out now for Tesla. Trying to get higher, but just faded a couple times. We've been hitting 202 now for about 10 minutes and fading off of that every time. So maybe a look there for TSLA and their shareholders. Good outs there in and around $300 now for Tesla. So I think it's a dip buy. Right into this level, match this 298. I like it. I'm going to cancel my 297 and put it to 298. I think Tesla's a buy in and around that area. So we'll look to see if that can come into play. NVIDIA, good job on pulling back. We have only 10% left now. It just made that wick down there. I don't know if that was real or not, but it hit the scanner. So maybe something to look at there for NVIDIA. Is there a name that we're missing? Oh, that OMH.
I was about to give the tap on.
Did it? Okay. I didn't even see it in the chat, but I know we were talking about it. Halt. Right there. There's a halt. There's a halt. There's a halt.
Rated flat.
Yeah, 3 straight halts on this one. This making this very, very hard to trade unless you're just buying and tap now 285.
My chart's not like your chart. Just have like this.
Well, they're not like us, these charts, you know. And,
no, but like those stocks, remember, like these dollar stocks, the halting, it's almost like you prefer the parabolic movers sometimes to be above $5 in just so you don't have as many halts and you get better trading in, because this is just going to be a halt fest possibly this afternoon. Indie Tech.
Wow.
I'm only laughing because nobody asked to look at BlackBerry. But I'll oblige.
It is moving.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. Why? It would we up 2%. Hey, look at that. And you know what? It's at 420. That's why we got to look at BlackBerry. Look, this name, it's one of the saddest stories out there for Canadian investors. We always love it when we have a great company that makes headlines. It's just, unfortunately, it's like a death keel. And not a good looking name. I think it might only be up because there's sympathy, unless there's a story that we know about here. Maybe there's some sympathy to some of the lower float names and some short float names that are running. But it's kind of a dead stock that you want to look for, like a news catalyst, or sometimes when the former meme stocks start going, you can catch a bit of a wave on a BlackBerry. But otherwise, I don't know what to make of it. I'm talking to somebody that was the last person. Trust me, if you've been watching this show for a while, I am the last person that you know that had one of those phones. I don't care what Arun tried to say. It was me. All right?
Oh,
I held on long. Well, because he had one that was like 8 iterations ago that he just kind of hung on to. I had like the Key 2 was like the last thing they had. So as far as I'm concerned, I was the one that was being true and faithful. And then when they didn't make that anymore and had to get rid of it. And I like my Pixel, Google Pixel 9.
Yeah, man, I think I bought the very first Pixel. So, yeah, man, I mean, we are definitely trailblazers over here, I guess. Shout out to everybody that loves Google. I love Google as well. So big company there, Google, coming in. And we celebrate today as what kind of Drake song is this? Because I started singing Kendrick, I just put in my playlist here. It's funny, I typed in Apple into the web browser. Hold on, I gotta mute this. I don't even know what the hell song this is. LA Confidential, Tory Lanez. I typed it into my browser and I typed in AAPL, looking for Apple Music.
I do the same thing.
It's so crazy there as well. So we'll listen to some music here on this side. All right, so yeah, let's just continue to work out these trades right now. So Apple's now $2 in the money, AMD is $3 in the money, Nvidia is $1 in the money, Archer's $1 in the money. I'm not holding a position under $1 in the money right now, so I feel like we're just fine. Plug power might be something to look at. I see some people talking about that, but it's Adara right now. What's up, Adara?
Keep an eye here on MRK. Not too much of a move here, but the FDA basically approving influenza, which is Merck's, treatment to prevent RSV, lower respiratory tract disease, in infants. So keep an eye on this one. Apparently, the company is having the ordering for this influenza to start in July. Shipments are likely to start before the 2025 to 2026 RSV season begins. Back to you.
So, well, it sounds pretty good. I was about to answer the question, Dangerous, in the chat. Here was asking where the trail was on, do I trail percent or value? Actually, neither. When I put trailing stops in, it's at price levels. Usually it's either like a prior high, underneath an even dollar, not necessarily like 99 at 72, like I'd put it at like 89 or like 92 if I was trailing to 72, or a key price level. Trend breaks, trend line breaks, that's where my trails are. I've never really had any success with if it pulls back 10%. I actually find that like that type of a trail was like, that's the worst results I had when I was just like picking random percentage numbers or random amounts back. If it pulls back this much, let's just get out. That never worked for me. So I started working with either trend lines or key level breaks. So on Robinhood, the 71 break, that local high was 71.80. We let it break, try to break to 72. It failed to break at 72. The prior bar high was my out on the trail, so we grabbed out of that. So that one gave us the entry. We didn't get IBIT, but we were able to get Robinhood through that 71 and play the range. And I'm going to suggest or guess that, I was about to guess that if Robinhood was pulling back, so would some of the other names that had just run, like GameStop. Looks to me like it's not stopping GameStop. Yeah, logic. Robinhood, which is a good company that makes sense to me, pulls back of the rally, and GameStop continues to go higher because logic means absolutely nothing. I don't see a lot of volume stepping back into this. See how it's breaking out the high on decreasing volume on GME? I wouldn't be touching that one. I think I'm going to stay away from that. See if we can't find something on either IBIT. Maybe there's like a last salvo on Palantir, just never gave us anything this afternoon. Like it's still very slowly going up. There just hasn't been like a really good setup. And now it's turned off 32 here. I don't know if I want to chase that up here at 32. I feel like it's already made the move you wanted, that 31 to 32. And we missed out on it. It's filled in, Palantir filled in pretty much the entirety of the gap from Friday's high to Thursday's top. So I think, yeah, it's done the work already, too late.
All right, I need a one dance. So let's just check out right here and see who is reporting there. June the 10th. This is tomorrow. Join me on the recap show with Adara and I. We'll be talking about all of this, man. GameStop tomorrow, man. GitLab tomorrow. Dave & Buster's. I haven't been there in a minute, but that should be fun. We should go there. And then Stitch Fix all tomorrow. Lots of events going through tomorrow as well. Go make sure that you do check this out. It is Trader TV Live's Trader TV research page that Adara puts random things up on there, so make sure you do. Go and double check that for all of your fun. There it is, Trader TV Live research page. 26,000 followers. Let's get that going a little bit. Some fun things all over here. Here's Apple revenue by operating segment. I mean, she has a bunch of different things right here. Who's biting into Apple's market share she has on here? Vivo, I don't even know anything about that. Huawei right there. Xiaomi, what's up, Xiaomi? That's making a move there as well. Oppo Taco, we love Oppos right there. Like I said, teaching the kids to hit Oppo. And then 4% is others. Shout out to others right there. But yeah, Apple, we'll wait to see. I don't think they did anything today moving the needle with any of their offerings there today. with the WWDC, but we just missed that, man. We were at $200.77. So right now, let's just get this out, man. There it is. We're now out of Apple. That's the face slapper right there. Again, we will cover our Apple trade right here with only 35 minutes left, and we'll see where we go from here. But again, I like Apple, and we'll wait to see if there's any possibility of a trade on that one as well. But out there on Apple, are we throwing to Adara? No, right? No, okay, good. Not good for that, but good I didn't miss it. DraftKings, again, we talked about being long this name, so happy with its performance so far, but 36 looks pretty good. We're trying to break out higher there. I knew that was a fugazi, that story about Illinois charging 25 cents a bet. Like, okay, that's not going to matter to most people, and I'm not sure why it went down that much there. Again, well, hey, man, it's like trading. You know, some people don't bet that big, but definitely a quarter, you have to be reasonable. And I didn't think that was a neater mover. But the problem is that...
But if it's on every single wager, that would add up.
Right, and that's, I mean, the risk was that it extends through Illinois. So it doesn't look like it's doing that right now. It's on 25 mil. 25 sitting on 25 mil. Yeah, he's sitting on a lot more than that right now, Drake. But there it goes. Nice move to the upside right here, 36-37. But yeah, I really like DraftKings. Talk about gambling, man. Drake drops. I don't know, Drake and Floyd Mayweather.
Well, Floyd's way
These
bigger
guys, no, Drake bets more than Floyd. But Floyd's been doing it longer. So, but yeah, shout out to all these guys. And Joe's not here. I watched the UFC there. That Sean guy got dusted. I don't know his name. He has all these tattoos. He's super skinny. He got crushed, but that was a good one, man. The women's fight was pretty good as well. So shout out to UFC. I started watching a little bit of that this weekend. But yeah, Drake has that Drake curse. It's like whoever he bets on, the other team wins. But yeah, anyways, that's what's going on right now.
Down on not
oh, Lil Wayne now.
Lil Wayne, there's a legend. Carney wants us to look at Dell.
The motto.
Why not? We like Dell. We're gonna go to Darren in a quick little second.
But that's O'Malley, Sean O'Malley.
Sean O'Malley.
I kept thinking of the friend that we know, which is
Sean McNow.
We have a friend, Sean McNow. I haven't seen the guy in forever, but yeah, that's
Sean McNow.
That's why it was in my.
That dude since.
I know. So we have a friend like that. So yeah, Sugar.
Who would know what that guy's up to? He was like the best. He was like our high school soccer goalie. He was legit. Yeah, he was legit. He was really good. Look, we'll talk about Dell. We have to go up to Adair with news, and we'll come back and talk about Dell.
Here is FXI. Keep an eye on, I guess, the market in general, but also any of these Chinese ADRs. We have comments coming now from Commerce Secretary Scott Bessent and U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Talking here to the media after the conclusion of their talks with China today. Apparently, these talks lasted about 6 hours. And Bessent, Lutnick, as well as U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer are going to remain, and these negotiations are going to resume at 10 a.m. tomorrow with China. So again, Lutnick here is saying that apparently the talks were fruitful, and then Bessent described the talks as a good meeting. So sounds like these talks went well so far. Keep an eye on the market. We know that we're really looking for some resolution on trade, specifically with China. Back to you.
Yeah, we're definitely looking for some. Whoa, what just happened to this chart? My Dell chart, you're not seeing double. It's just doubled up. Oh, there we go. That was weird. Okay. It's back to normal. You're not going to have two 50-period and two 200-period moving averages. Look, Dell, it's been a very sleepy stock the last couple of weeks, but it's held the line very nicely on what seems like it broke the trend. There's your 50-period and strong move up, and now you got to hold on to this 200 and break the next level. It looks like it wants to do it here. In some ways, it reminds me, not totally of the AMD. It's like what you want AMD to do next is what Dell is doing now, where you got the consolidation finally above that 200p. But it's kind of a boring name out there. It's done a lot of work lately, but I wouldn't be getting into it here. I feel like the swing trade on these downward trending stocks is to catch it when it's breaking away from the 50-period moving average into the 200, as opposed to now it's already up almost a double, and you can't take anything out into that. It's like you want to get something in here a lot of times for myself, and then place them out into this, and then hold, as opposed to jumping in there, unless I liked it in the long term, which there's more exciting stocks for myself there. But yeah, Dell, not too bad. It looks like Robinhood is still going. It trailed me out, but it just took another bid off 72. and went all the way to 72.20. So Robinhood still showing signs of strength to said upside. Dangerous. NVIDIA is not splitting today. Yeah, we would.
Splitting?
No, I know. I just saw in the chat. He goes, NVIDIA split today. My calendar messed up. I mean, it's not.
Maybe it was a year ago today.
Was it? Yeah, was it a year ago today? I don't know.
Well, we can check our charts.
Oh, maybe that's what you meant. They're not splitting. You could have meant that it was a year ago today.
I'll check. It was. Yep, that's exactly what it was. June 10th.
Oh, nice.
That's money in the grave if you have that one down there. But it goes roll on. All right, yeah. See, you know we're in a good mood, man. We've got some tunes blasting out now. We got some nice for what here for Drake in our ear right now. So it's just we're really feeling it now. All right, another out there on NVIDIA just because Trump is still talking. He's resigned to opening up China. Trade talks will continue Tuesday after day one wraps up. So so far so good there. We got to hit them angles with your phone out, you know. But there it is, NVIDIA. Nice move up. JP Morgan on the scanners here. Oh. Wow, JP Morgan had a run, boy, this afternoon, and now starting to fade out just a little bit right here. This one's nice for what? Up to 268. We almost got right back to that. I got to get some out, man. I was looking. I am way too big in this. Like, I was really irresponsible. I bought a whole bunch here, didn't get any out, let it go all the way down, and right now I'm staring at this position as well right now. So, yeah, we're going to have to wait for JP Morgan, but that was on a move here this afternoon, and I missed that whole play up there to 268, now pulling back in. We may put an order on this tomorrow to get some JP Morgan out, because if we touch 268 again, that's probably something. XLF, okay, Trump's saying China's not easy right now. He's talking all about it. So there is still some stuff going on with China right now. So I think that's fine. He's talking about how he did the right thing with the National Guard. I don't know what's been going on today over there in, of course, what was bright and sunny LA.
Hopefully less violence.
Yeah, I don't even know how. I mean, if you guys are there, I'm not sure.
We just see the
I put on CNN and obviously understand that they only show what they want. So I don't know how bad that actually was there in LA. Maybe you guys can sort of fill us in there as well. But anyways, that was what it was. Apparently ICE just running amok there. It's just crazy. Like, obviously here in Canada, we don't see anything like that. Our immigration, you just come into this country, but I don't know.
Nothing
unless, of course, you have, well, whether or not we are bringing in fentanyl or sending out fentanyl, I'm not sure. But, you know, immigration is huge here in Canada, and it's been like that for many years. I know we've sort of slowed down on some of that border stuff, but obviously a very sensitive issue there as we look to get that under control. Oh, okay, he's saying that he's not getting rid of Tesla or Starlink at the White House at all. So a nice move to the upside right now. Trump saying he may drive his Tesla around a little bit. So there goes Tesla right now, 303, going higher right now, breaking higher, $300.50. I don't know, I thought I'd just have
I'm not hearing
Benzinga right there coming up after the close. You hear him saying that?
But
Yeah, okay. Anyways, we'll go over to Adara and figure this out.
So his comments on Tesla were a little bit more confusing. They just came out through for me on X, or sorry, not on X, in my ear. What happened here is people were asking, what are you going to do with your Tesla? He said they're going to keep Starlink, but he said, I don't know what I'm going to do with the Tesla. We might move it around a bit. When people asked him to clarify what he meant, he says, I have a lot of locations. So it looks like he might keep the Tesla, unclear where he's going to store the Tesla. Just a little bit of confusion there on the Tesla question, though we were worried about cancellation of Starlink. Donald Trump said that they're going to keep Starlink at the White House at the very least. So bit of a mixed note here for Elon Musk that looks like right now positive for his Tesla purchase, perhaps. Back to you.
I mean, how much of that was even staged now at this point? Like, I mean, what does he mean he doesn't know what he's going to do with his Tesla? It's just one car. It's like the car is just sitting there. It's that red one where he called Tesla, or he pronounced it incorrectly. I don't remember exactly how he said that. I don't know, man. Drive it to Mar-a-Lago, do something. Who knows what he's going to do with that Tesla? But I'm loving mine, and the kids want to travel everywhere. My other car, the Atlas, doesn't even move anymore. Really? So yeah, they don't.
They just want the
They just want to go. Well, because it drives like a dream.
Oh,
It's unlike anything I've driven.
But I put the foot down. My daughter would be like, "Can we take the small car?" She calls it the Audi. Calls it the small car. I'm like, "Sweetheart, we're going to baseball." I go, it's light on trunk space, and Like, we're not doing that. We're going to take. The Audi doesn't have a ton. It's
So
like,
what, A2,
look, I can
right?
get everything. I can get everything in there. It's just like, look, the Jeep is more convenient. We got the seats in there, like our chairs, like your. What's the word I'm looking for? Like the
lawn chairs?
Yeah, lawn chairs, everything in the back, like the big umbrella. It's just like I hate having to move the stuff around. We got the family vehicle for a reason. That's what we're taking to baseball, and that's what I try to keep it simple. But yeah, I'll get a Tesla at some point. But 305 is incoming, and you know what? I don't think I want to short it. Like we were talking about potential breakdown, and like we did on Friday, it doesn't look like it wants to do that. And if there's a positive story, I suppose that's a positive story, if that's what we're calling it. But I like the relief rally that's happening in Tesla as a shareholder. But yeah, I didn't sniff that one out. I don't think we're going to get another shot underneath that prior high. Robinhood's really slowing down, so I don't know if we're going to get a reasonable dip buy to revert into, and I don't want to buy a consolidation top on this, so we're just going to hang on to Intel, see if we get some imbalances as we go to Adara.
More interesting comments on Elon Musk from Donald Trump. So he's being asked here at this Invest America event, have you spoken to Elon Musk? Do you have any plans to speak to him? He said that he wishes Elon well. He says he would imagine that Elon wants to speak to him, but right now they don't have any plans he doesn't have any plans to speak to him. As of right now, not something that he's really thought about. But Tesla doesn't care, pushing into 305 right now. But just letting you guys know, Donald Trump and Elon Musk apparently still not talking, though. Trump didn't necessarily rule it out. Back to you.
I mean, I'm glad that we answered that short question earlier when someone asked about shorting Tesla. I was like, hells to the no right there. The minute we broke and I was wrong on the direction early, I haven't even touched this thing. And we were waiting for, I mean, I had a bid at 297, a bid at 298. We never came through. We should have just respected the 50-period moving average, because there goes Tesla, man. 305 right now and incoming. Shout out to my guy, Chef Joe. Shout out to everybody out there right now, as if you're riding your Lambo powered by Tesla right now, as it just straight upside. Those lights are too bright for me right here, but there it goes, man. Nice move higher for Tesla and not stopping at all. I think we go a lot higher right now. We're going 0 to 100 real quick in my ear right now, but this one right there. Oh, sure, let's do it, man. It's eSignal. Oh, Lord, right there. Scan that QR code right there, man, and grab your 1 month free from eSignal, sponsored by Trader TV Live. Get that going right now. All the winning charts right here, lightning fast market data, all these apps. You can tell we're in a good mood today. 50 plus brokers, easy to use, world-class customized. I'll just keep reading what's on the chart. Wide array of tools now as well. But all kidding aside, we do use these scanners that you're about to see in just a couple minutes, man. Dropping all this stuff down. Over 500 symbols is real awesome to be able to chart everything. And that's where you need those easy trading computers, because they do chew up. Because this is what it's all about right there. All of these scanners just blasting off all day on my screen right now, including right here, highlighting a stock called BTE, highlighting K-Web, SPY right now, Apple, AMD. This is eSignal right here. The trade rate indicator, just showing you sort of what's been popping off and what hasn't been. There's Rocket Lab today, Palantir, SoxL, American Airlines. There's that BT again. That must be nothing. There's Astis, ASTS there as well, climbing today, nicely up there. Astis up 12%. Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers turns red there today as well. Oh, Lord, again, there's Palantir, 132. Man, sorry about that, but I'm here from Toronto, so I have this Drake mix right now going on as we just watch out for some of these trades right now to the downside. NVIDIA, good couple outs. We have less than 10%. We talked about that run for us. Archer Aviation as well. Waiting for this one to break through 11. If it does, then we'll get out of our last piece right there, as that's been a good one. And then AMD still, AMD all the way up, man. Money. You know, again, there's one thing again about calling levels, like we were both on this name today. There's another thing taking it, and there it is right there, AMD. I think this was traded great here early, just not great late. We could have got longer here and rode this 50 period all the way up, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. we're besides Circle, I'm having my best day of June right now, and it's adding up real quick. So nice move there as we drop some more Drake lines, but nice move to the upside. I think Tesla has the opportunity, especially with everything behind it, to regain some of these highs. I don't, now, tomorrow, on the sticky note, I'm calling it right now, unless something crazy, this is gonna be my #1 long idea. Let's find out the levels for tomorrow, but I like Tesla, I like this candle today. The fact that we're sort of back up above 300 now, I think we're incoming into 340, 350 again, and then we'll see about 360. Again, like the stock, we don't have earnings anytime soon, and we have a good positive China talk. So yeah, man, I like the name, I like Tesla, and look at it just continue to rib higher, man. Shorts be damned, man. You guys getting squeezed out right now, and we keep going higher and higher right now with TSLA, so congratulations.
And with that, those names that were all rallying on the SpaceX contract stuff, like ASTS, traders call it Astis, those are flunking right now, down $1.50, breaking down pretty heavily here. Doesn't look very good for them. It was them. I don't know if Virgin Galactic was going, probably like Rocket. The other Rocket was doing pretty well as well. But they're looking relatively weak, unfortunately, for those names. I see people talking about Oklo going here quickly. It's 340. The only thing on the imbalance locator early is Nova and SU, and Nova is a penny stock, so we don't really care too much about that. QBTS, 700,000 to the buy side, could be worth. That could be something, QBTS, if it's anywhere near $1 million, that's a significant amount for that particular name. We did just get a slight pushback, and the only thing I was sitting in after the Robinhood, it's basically been, I've only been in 2 things this afternoon. One was a reload up here at 63 on Intel, and then there was a 71 long on Robinhood, and that's pretty much been it. I'll hang on to this for a flat bottom break on Intel because it stinks, and if it breaks that flat bottom, I want to be out in front of 2040 or so. So I'll just get that bit out there now. See what Robinhood is doing. Probably not going to give us too much of anything else. Yeah, it's slowed down. Still heading higher, but it's slowing down. Not precipitously, but certainly not as crazy as what you're seeing go on with Tesla. I'm pretty glad I didn't sell more Tesla on my swing on Friday, but it is very close to where I sold the second out, I should say. Trailed out at 310, literally on Thursday. And all of a sudden, you're right back. Well, you're almost right back at that same level. Like, I had a trailing stop on this from the 220 buy for the second third. First third, I took out at 280. Second third, I trailed out at 310. Now I'm just going to hold it. I own Tesla in my long-term account, and I have not touched that. But I'm talking about in the swing off of 220. Ultimately, like, ideally, I thought we were pressing back into 400 for these shares. So I'll try to let it fly. Man, you're going to close above the 200 period for Tesla today. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And Aura saying Joby is not tanking. Rocket Lab, some of those names are probably following because of that. Like RKLB, as I showed you guys, ASTS, Joby, is that going as well? But Joby's more of the eVTOL thing, right? It's the space names that are going down. Like Joby shouldn't be related to that. Like that's why ASTS is going down. That's why RKLB would be going down. It's the space-related names that you would think might get some contracts. Well, remember what happened to them when Tesla was tanking. Like this, when that tank happened, these guys were what, like $26, and now they're 30. You could see these pull all the way back in. It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah, we started from the bottom. Now we're here, man. I mean, Tesla started from 282, all the way up now to 308. Glad to have this as one of my red names, only red name really today. Apple's is here as well. We just came this out. That was a good trade there. NVIDIA is pulling back. I might just get out. We're getting closer and closer to those imbalances. Let me take out half of what we have right now again on that one. So yeah, some good outs happening all over the place now for NVIDIA, for Apple, for AMD, for Archer. You guys just mentioned Joby. Archer, we're still waiting for that to come out. And NVIDIA, NVIDIA. This is not NVIDIA. Hey, what's up? This, of course, is AMD. So we'll wait to see where that comes out at right now. AMD.
Shout out Nimrod here.
Alibaba. Yeah, what's up with Nimrod? 20? Oh, my God, dude. Just send me the cash. Thank you for Nimrod right there. Yeah, good shout out, Neil. 20 super chats. It's $100 right there. So thank you so much for that, Nimrod. I mean, just keep keep it all coming, guys. I mean, you should automatically get accepted into that. We want to thank that right there as well. There's a reason for the past week that Tesla moves on parabolic fashion every day. Yeah, well, today we had Trump talking, and it looks like they are, and Trump starts to talk around this time anyways, but looks like they're just talking kindly every single day. I mean, again, the last couple of days we had Tesla dumping because, again, more things. I got to take this Drake out of my ear because I'm just getting too distracted here. But now we're doing back-to-back. But nice move up there for Tesla today. And again, it just looked like today that Trump and Elon Musk are not really fighting at all. Again, so I don't know who gave in there or who didn't, but there we go, upside. It was very interesting to see. And I just think, like, when I saw Donald Trump and his whole family, basically, it was not his whole family, but the daughter there, Jared, I don't know, her husband, they all showed up at this UFC event at 10:30 at night. I'm like, this man is 78 years old. Chilling out. That event didn't end until 1 o'clock. So shout out to my guy. Yo, Matteo, what's going on there? Matteo. Yo, what's going on, my guy in the back? There's my Italian friend back there, Matteo, doing everything. This is the Canadian stock whisperer over there. That's it. So yeah, you better hide, my guy, before you become famous over there. You want to know any Canadian stock? There he is. Uh-oh, now we're there. What's up, Chow? Chow's over there as well. Big wave to my friends in the back. Sorry how obnoxious I am, but you guys are now on our studio. So shout out to you guys as well. Both working for Real Trading. So shout out to those guys in the back there.
Too much of that thing.
But there it is, man. Yeah, I'm listening to Drake from Degrassi. Yeah, that's a good one there. Wheelchair Drake in my ear.
That's the fake Degrassi.
Yeah, exactly.
We grew up on the real thing.
Going back to back.
Sean went to school with Snake. Well, from Degrassi. No, he didn't. So Sean's buddy in university.
His name is Snake.
He was spot on, looked exactly like Snake. It was dead on, to the point where I didn't even, what's his name again? It's
Adam.
Sorry. I knew him as Snake, so you know, when you get introduced and you have a nickname, and all of his boys, like everybody called the dude Snake, so I don't know the guy's name was Adam.
He looked at me. We watched it like every lunch hour in our dorm there. Degrassi High, that was hilarious. Shout out to Philly. We got some Meek Mill in our ear right here.
Wow, 310 now on Tesla. It continues to absolutely fly to the upside. As much as this is like the strongest name out there, yeah, watch out. I think it could get nasty on like ASTS and Rocket as well. Those could really be cratering. Continuing to crater is probably the way to look at it. This is now parabolic. Wow. Hood is at the pre-market highs as well. See, what's weird about this is, like, see what's happening with Tesla? See what's happening with Hood and a few other names? The Nasdaq's rolling over right now.
Yeah.
Like it just tagged VWAP, the ES did as well. We're actually threatening to go red on the day to close this thing out. We only have 3 or 4 minutes until the imbalances are gonna hit here. Let's see what they come out of. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Tesla on there or some of the crypto names, of course, because that's gonna be a big deal. David in the chat, I didn't even hear about the Elon till in Canada. It was 2 a.m. after getting to Edmonton and was like, what, my Tesla puts are in the money. Well, if you had Tesla puts, then that spat was probably the best thing to have woken up to or not heard about. But it was absolutely wild. But if it gets created on a whim, then it can reverse on a whim as well. That's sort of the thing. It's just like the tariffs, right? Like if one kind of headline or a couple of tweets one way are going to cause stock movement, drop in $20, $30, then how hard is it for it to pump like $5 or $6 in the other direction? That's what we're seeing with Tesla. Thank you, Marcus, Steven Johnson, MSJ, for the super chat. We appreciate you as well. Appreciate you right there. Again, some love from Israel as well. Thank you, Yaron.
What's up, Yaron?
Oh my goodness, now Hood's at 73. We're never gonna get that dip buy in the personal if Robinhood only just keeps on bouncing.
Yeah, that's why I'm done with waiting for things, man. Like I wanted Amazon, bang. We wanted Marvell, bang. We wanted all those things, bang, 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 bang. Because you wait for things, man, and
I bought too many things this year.
I know, and that's the thing, right?
The thing is, I was buying in March, which was early, and then I bought there's some stuff I bought. It's just Robinhood. Look, Robinhood's the one that I regret the most because there's a literal. It's like I bought SoFi instead of it. So that'll always be that thing for me. It doesn't matter how much I make on SoFi. The only thing I will think about, I haven't even looked at SoFi today, the only thing I will think about is how much I could have made on Robinhood. You know what? SoFi's, yeah, it's actually not that bad. in SoFi alone. I didn't buy that dip on SoFi, but I'm in it at around 7-something overall. It's just that Robinhood was much, much better. And it's just a stronger stock, that's all. All right, we only have about 2 minutes to go, so trailing stock.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Intel. 2 minutes to go till the imbalances, by the way. The market still has plenty of time. And we are going to be able, I was told we are going to be able to have Michael on. We couldn't have him this morning, but the team did a great job getting everything back up, so he will be on via Zoom. I know he probably want to talk about some of the aviation names. We'll ask him about crypto and how Fartcoin is doing on a day like today. Let's go to Adair.
So just so you guys know, we're about a minute away here from the imbalances, and Donald Trump just left the stage here, or I guess the round table at this Invest America event. That event is now over as we head into the very end of the trading day. Back to you.
It's over.
Over.
All right, 40 seconds to go till the imbalances hit. You're probably looking out for Tesla, crypto-related names, maybe, I don't know, maybe an NVIDIA. NVIDIA could go red on the session as well. Like that's kind of
we got
wild.
out of all that.
I think it's a weird one. Like there's no explanation I'm aware of for why specifically NVIDIA was so weak. But in a day where AMD is holding court, it could just be some rotation. It's like out of the leader and into some of the laggards.
Going in.
I could potentially buy that. But 10 seconds till the imbalances come in here, guys. We'll let you guys know what they are in real time. But the market pulling back, crypto and Tesla absolutely flying. We're at 108.5 on Bitcoin. And Robinhood now at 73 as it goes. NVIDIA 4.5 million to buy. Intel's a buy, punching out. Yeah, so it's basically just NVIDIA. 4.5 million buy NVIDIA, 2 million Intel. That'll pair off. It always does. You've got Verizon. Who cares about that? 1.3. I don't know what VTRS is at 1.1 million. That could be some kind of a random index action. Plug Power is a 1 million sell. That was moving around earlier today. But it's really just NVIDIA. Apple, 900,000 to the buy side. That's chump change. WFC, 800,000. Broadcom's 800,000 to the buy side. They've been kind of weak today over on Broadcom. Not the best day for AVGO, although rallying a little bit. Well, trying to rally a little bit here is Broadcom. Down 1%.
Yeah, I know. That's one I want to.
Well, it's a curious one. You can't look, man. You can't blame it on the quarter. Like I'm not sitting here being some kind of a financial analyst, but let's be real. You couldn't have read their report and said it was bad. I just think it's the case of a stock that was at a 52-week high that's getting a little bit of a sell-off there. Nothing really too bad about it.
I got out of everything, man. Monster. Just big trades today, man. I mean, that's what we're here for. Good moves there. NVIDIA got a buy. I actually emptied out of NVIDIA, on the way down. We had a very, very small amount left. I just didn't want that to go in the other way there. Intel. A bad decision there for me being into that one. We already talked about all of these. So, all right, we're out of Archer as well. That was a good one. We got out right there at 28 or whatever on the way back in for that. So, yeah, man, everything's been going really well today as we're out. Let's just continue to watch Tesla, man. What about 310? Can I get a 310? Can I get a 311? Can I get a 312? I mean, this is what's going to be happening tomorrow in these levels. So just be careful with Tesla overnight. If you guys have puts, up to you to do whatever. I'd go for a little bit longer of an expiry rate here because you're looking for a story, because right now the stories are just positive right now on Tesla. Remember, Tesla was cruising until we had that sort of spat. So I really think Tesla continues to work. There's that downside play. We break through 340 and the rest is history, but there's a nice upside play coming for TSLA, I think. Anyways, we really love this stock, especially when there's news, and right now they be news on Tesla, especially if China can get it all figured out there. Let's see what happens there. Again, steel, tariffs, aluminum, all of that, all going to be good if they can get it all worked out there for TSLA. I love the stock. It's going higher. What's up to Tesla? Eli Lilly right now as well. Not doing much. Want to check back in as well. But again, not too much going on right there. They wishing on me. JP Morgan, sorry. Google was another one I wanted to see right here. 176. So we lightened up on Google. Bad decision, man, up there at 160. I told you we put some money in Lilly, but Google really has been working off of some of those lows. We've had people, Scott Tileman called this the best looking Mag 7 chart. There's a lot of people that really love this name. And I still do, man. I still like it. It's still a big position. It was my largest position. We trimmed that. Now Amazon is. And again, really like Google, but just was overweighted in it. So we'll wait to see if it continues to climb higher. There's a lot of room to the upside if you're trying to play like some get up in the name. Google doesn't look like Microsoft, Meta, or anything.
I still like Meta better.
Right there. Yeah.
I just wanted more Meta more than anything else. And you had to sell something.
Meta's been, you guys know when I was pounding the table on about $100 on Meta, Sharif had a great trade down there as well. That's where sort of, I haven't bought Meta since those lows. So part of it is like, I want to be long only forever. And I'm selling some more to get some in some indexes. But at the end of the day, I think, you know, the U.S. and just sort of the money generation there that's going to be coming from the S&P 500 and from the Nasdaq names, just wealth creation. And it's been like that since I've been starting to invest. Obviously, there's going to be some bad times, and we saw one. We've seen a few in the last couple of years, including COVID, and then we just had a huge drop down, one of the largest, fastest bear markets in history, followed by one of the fastest bull markets. So, I mean, the markets are here. There's a lot of money on the sidelines, and I think some things continue to work. Tesla is pulling back. Let's wait to see Tesla tomorrow, but I'm really excited already for tomorrow's trade and hoping it's not raining because I have God's plan in my ear, and hopefully God's plan today is not rain because we do have practice tonight, but some coaches are already checking out the field, and it turns out that it looks pretty good. So
we got basketball, so I don't have to worry about the
you got some indoor? Okay, so that's okay. What's up, Adara?
What's up here is the One for All competition here from Trade the Pool. One the All is the new trading competition from Trade the Pool. It's never been done before because everyone will be trading together on one shared account with $1 million in buying power. This starts on June 16th and it ends on June 18th. Now, what's the goal here? To beat the QQQs. For example, if the Qs or the Nasdaq here moves up by 3% or down by 3%, you want to aim for a larger move. And so what's in it for you? Everyone wins, plus there's $675,000 in prizes. There's 20 evaluation accounts up for grabs. One account, one mission, one for all. Scan that QR code and join the team now. Back to you.
Positive.
Yeah, I'm just, that's an interesting challenge. When they say everyone wins, I'm kind of curious, like anyone that beats the index is going to win that one? Or let's see it. It's an interesting thing. But as we said, we'll do it tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow. We're going to have a discussion about how to get this short-only play for Trader TV Live. Because in a bull market, it's always fun to see what's the thing that you don't like. I promise you this. I got $1, and when I say I got $1, it's because I love trading places. So every single bet that's jokes is $1. $1 says ain't no one around here picking Tesla for that short pick for the rest of the year. That's easily, no one's going to pick that.
No, I don't think so.
It did get to 310-ish just now. So that key level, 310's not nothing. 310 was a pretty key level. That key level is holding. It's kind of hard to tell here, but on that initial down push day, I guess it was more 310 to 313. That level is holding, but the gap fill is almost complete. And I like some Tesla. I can wish that I didn't sell some, but at the time, you know, it was a swing anyways. We'll see if we can't hold the rest for something closer to 400. Deal of the art, never say never. You're right. Never say never, but I know I'm not going to pick Tesla as my short. I'm very certain, knowing Sean, that he's not going to pick it. I know Joe's not picking Tesla as a short. And so what's left?
Remember, Joe's the one that sold his at 224. He may not like Tesla.
Maybe. Okay, I could be wrong about Joe. I could be wrong. Maybe Joe would. Sharif, I'm pretty sure wouldn't. I'm pretty sure about that, and then Dara as well. So yeah, it's just an educated guess, knowing us around here. I'm sure there's lots of people that would be bearish on Tesla from a valuation standpoint that would pick it as a short. I'm just talking about like the six of us. I'm gonna get up to the desk so we can finish things off. We'll have Brian Chan. I almost said Brian Chan. We have Michael Noss coming on. He couldn't make it this morning. Yep. Good day today. Good luck, everyone holding Tesla into the close, 4%, and trying to climb.
Man, I love all these Lil Wayne and Drake joints, man. Right now, Over we have. Thank Me Later, Drake. I mean, just great tune right here. We're having a great day. live here at Trader TV Live, and we want to, of course, thank everybody for continuously watching and supporting the show. I mean, that means a lot to all of us here. So thank you for everybody for that. Right, means a lot. So yeah, we're still going here. Tesla, just have a quick look at this at the end of the day. It looks like it does want to pull back just a little bit, but this 308 is holding pretty nicely. So I'm just thinking tomorrow, these are some good levels, man, and I'm excited. 302 tomorrow, 300. We'll see if we can hold that. Just looking to see if there's going to be any sort of stories here. And, you know, if they are, then great. And we're going to be here for that tomorrow on TSLA. Let's see where NVIDIA winds up going out here today. 142.70. I mean, this is my number 2 P&L name there today. And we could go over all the trades. I mean, Apple was, we only have a minute and a half left. That was a good one. Here, let's just see. What's Rigetti doing here into the close? 11.30. I know we got out of Archer at 11.28. That was okay, good price. That was $1 from these bottoms. We actually called that bottom there, and lucky that we never got flipped out, because if we did, then that would have been a little bit of an issue for me there, but thankfully it wasn't. So that's a good one there. As the SPY turns red, no. Will the SPY hold green right now? Looking at the S&P 500, now almost flat on the day. Are the banks pulling back here a little bit? Because, yeah, pretty decently. All right, I should have got out of some JP Morgan there today as well, as that's trying to pull back. I don't know what's popping, man. Apple downside again. We had a good little short on Apple, that's for sure. We'll see if we can hit that again, but Apple, nice move down. We'll play that maybe tomorrow. Amazon's pumping to 217. Google's 1 and change. We now only have 25 minutes. Robinhood only down now 2%. So again, man, one thing to call it, another thing to trade it. Robinhood, no scratches for me today, but what a great move higher there. Bouncing off 68.50 into the close. Going out only 10 seconds left. This is brought to you by StreamX right there. Thank you to StreamX for that. And also BSGM is the symbol. 3, 2, and 1. Go check them out. Thank you, Adara. Hey, man, I'm your boy, Sean. It's been a crazy day today, man. Apple, Archer, AMD, Amazon, NVIDIA, and Tesla. That's 6 names. That's probably 3 too many, but we had a huge day. We're really proud of that. And I just want to thank everybody for coming through, and hopefully you're able to do that tomorrow. Join us all at 8:30 tomorrow morning, as we'll see where Tesla winds up and where everything else winds up going. Oh, man, now we've got... How come Trophies by Drake ends as soon as the market closes? Today was definitely one of these days. Shout out to my kid there today. Look, it's almost Father's Day right here. This is Father's Day 5 years ago, although it looks like 2026. It was Father's Day 2020 right there. My son at the time threw me this. So shout out to that one right here. Trophies today, man, and we're happy to lift it. So thank you so much for watching. It's 4 o'clock. Adara's gone, but Neil's over at the desk. Let's throw it over there now. For Sean, we're gone. Thanks, Sharif, today. Thanks, Joe, Neil, everybody, Andre, Fabian, Ramin, everybody that's doing their best today. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of you for watching, because without you, we ain't got no show. And I just trade by my lonesome and listen to some Drake. Have a good one tonight, wherever you're going. Have some fun, and we'll catch you on the flip side tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao till then.
Thank you very much. Market recap starts right about now. You thought it was going to be about WWDC and Apple's event? No mas. No. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. Look, obviously, sell the news did happen over there on Apple, but the big story in the afternoon was a little bit of making up, kiss and make up, whatever you want to call it, bro hug, whatever it might be. I don't know that it's gone that far between Trump and Elon, but certainly a little bit of a walk back, enough to get Tesla going. Up 4% today. Now, keep in mind, Tesla was already strong on the session before the late day breakout. It had made that nice little bit of a bottom. So that 4%, it's more impressive than just that. Because technically, this looks fantastic, and we'll get into some of this if it can hold 300 tomorrow. We have to see what happens overnight with Tesla, but when it's just a couple of tweets and a couple of comments that send the stock down a boatload, then all you need is a couple in the other direction to head us right back into the upside for Tesla. But we did have the WWDC event for Apple. Starting out, the event kicked off at 1 o'clock. It was a sell the news. Actually, oddly enough, it didn't get to that 206 I had on my note, but 206 ends up being the high, but not since the event started. bounces off 205 down to the 200 level. Apple down 1%. I feel as if the late day rally in crypto names and Tesla masked what was going on, the disappointment with Apple, WWDC, dragging the market down with it, because overall, at Terra, the Qs ended up not at the low of the day, but breaking down the opening range. The opening range breakout levels in the Qs, which we had to support for most of the day, those ended up getting taken out very, very late in the day. So it was a market pullback despite the exuberance in some of the crypto names, despite the exuberance in Tesla.
I think part of why that happened, Neil, was just because after that massive move to the downside, Apple just kind of chilled for the rest of the afternoon. That's truthfully what I think. I can show my very marked up trading view chart if you guys would like. I apologize. There are a lot of lines here. I need to minimize that. There we go.
Like lines.
So yeah, cool. So I'm going to focus here on this VWAP. I dropped this anchored VWAP when we get this fluctuation of volume into the downside. If you look at this VWAP, once we break back below it here around 230, we don't really break back above it until we get this reaction here into the close. So for the most part, we're really just kind of fluctuating below this level of excitement when we had this push to the downside on AAPL. This kind of looks like a bear flag, though, Neil, heading into tomorrow. I will say that. This double bounce, though, at 200 was like gorgeous. I was watching this when it happened in the order book. It really did give it to you twice. And both times you thought we might break below 200. And then Apple was like, no, you don't. We're not that Tim Cook, not yet. But I will say, as someone who also watched the WWDC presentation, it was different for sure. I'm just going to pull up the Apple chart. Yeah, it was pretty meh. And I think what I noticed too, especially early on when we got this first initial push to the downside and then this second push to the downside, what happened was we really had them saying, oh, well, we know you guys wanted this, so we gave you this thing. And I'm like, but what people wanted was AI. So everything you say that they wanted that you've given them that isn't the thing they really, really want just seems like you're being really short-sighted. This initial push to the downside, though, came when they said, oh, yeah, we're working on a Siri and Apple Intelligence update maybe later this year. So clearly it's not a priority for them. That's pretty concerning. And I think given that it's a priority for consumers, it feels kind of egregious. But that's just my take. And at least I think that's how it certainly manifested in the chart.
Well, I mean, certain companies learn the hard way. You got to give the people what they want, right? Disney, I'm looking at you. But I know Apple, bit of a disappointment. But what was not disappointing was crypto today. Now, Bitcoin recovering day 108,000, gapping up and looking strong. And of course, the administration's all behind crypto right now in the moment. IBIT, strong trend up. I know Joe was long. I was long today as well. And it's looking pretty good to make another retest some all-time highs. Now, obviously, we got a little bit more work to do. But that prior top that was sitting at 108, that's what we got. And I bet it's going to be just underneath the 62 level and looking fantastic. And a host of names were able to get some relief off of that. All of the sellers that ran away from Robinhood because they didn't get added to the S&P 500, Hood was down over 5% earlier today, looking like it was going to fill in the gap all the way down to the prior highs that we made in February. Instead, late in the afternoon, it really continued further than I thought. I thought it was a scalp trade, like it was a consolidation. Look at this tight consolidation at 71. What I love about that trade is there's some chatter going on in crypto. Bitcoin's breaking out the high, and you essentially have a 20-cent range in Robinhood where you can just punch the break and then take the dollar move. Well, it went to 73. It then went to 73.5. Robinhood's barely even down. It filled in the entirety of the gap from the morning and tries to shrug it off. Now, clearly, it wasn't the best day for it if you were a buyer in the afternoon on Friday in anticipation of them being added to the S&P 500. Right? Because anyone that bought that candle, there were buys all the way to $80. So when that announcement didn't happen, there's still some people that are out of the water or under the water on those longs. But still a very good day for Robinhood and the crypto names.
And I think part of why it was a good day for Robinhood, too, I don't want to speculate too much, because App 11, which was also down on the same catalyst, it bounced a little bit as well. I haven't looked at it in a while. But Robinhood, I was literally just looking at this now. Vlad Tenev posting, because in case you guys missed it, he was at Invest America. Robinhood is going to be part of this initiative to give these newborn babies these $1,000 accounts. So Hood actually pushed a little bit higher here as well. But I do want to mention, too, one thing that is not necessarily market related, but was kind of hilarious. And I saw someone mentioning it in the chat as well. So here's Uber. Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm doing a little bit better than the president was. He was at the event today, and I only say that because he kept saying Dara, and at one point he actually said thank you, Adara, and I legitimately was really confused, and I know some people in the chat were mentioning that as well. So
Get it, Adara.
I was not at the event, guys.
Get it, Adara.
Thank you there, Sharif. I almost said Sharif. I'm so used to saying that because Sharif usually says it to me. Thank you, Neil. And yeah, I guess thank you, Trump, as well for saying that. But yeah, no, all jokes aside, Uber, this was like a crazy kind of, so you have a double top here, 87, 85. Then we get to a little lower double top here, 87, 80, and then we just slump. It's like a very interesting slow grind rounded top here for UBER, the CEO of which is not myself. So I just wanted to mention that because I thought it was kind of funny. Why did Meta drop so much, says B. Saunders? I didn't see anything on that. It kind of dropped here at VWAP, making these lower highs and lower lows in slow time, I would honestly say, throughout the session. But also, I had normal special mentioning that CASY or Casey General Stores reporting earnings. They had a move, a pretty nice move here. Not a ton of volume on the stock generally. I'm also not seeing the numbers yet, but if I see anything, I will give them to you guys. But yeah, just a shout out to Uber. Abdullah asking about Lilly this week. I can look at that after, but yeah, what are you looking at right now, Neil, ahead of Michael Noss joining us?
Well, I wanted to at least mention the uranium names here and the nuclear names. I see in the chat here Sundar asking about Oklo and Roku. I haven't looked at Roku, but Oklo in the space. Like uranium up 4.5%. Of all the ETFs that we have listed here, you're going to see on the right side. It's the strongest one. Silver, of course, continuing its breakout, but this trend held all day long. You have URA breaking out on the daily. I mean, this is gorgeous. Who doesn't? I mean, if you don't like charts that look like this, then you don't like charts, or you're some kind of a bear, which is fine. I have nothing against bears. I think as a day trader, I can be. I'm never really much of a bear in the long term, but the day trade you can be. But that's a big breakout happening right there in URA. You would have seen Oklo look pretty strong here as well in sympathy. Whoops, I just typed OKLO, not Okla, Oklo. And the good thing about this is while you're breaking out uranium, yeah, you've got a chance as day traders. We have a chance to see this, knock on wood, test a breakout tomorrow on OKLO. Double top at 59, just under that 60 level. Been on an absolute tear. You do have to watch out. Clearly there are sellers in the high 50s on OKLO. SMR is setting up for a pretty good breakout. Didn't trade this today. I think that was a mistake, not looking at this name in particular. I like them. I own them. In the long term, well, in the swing, it's actually added in my swing account, but at this point it's a long-term play because I've already scalped them out. I like this play. One of these two is probably going to challenge that breakout on the daily. So uranium strong and the nuclear names continuing their press much, much higher. Did want to go back over, we're expecting to have Michael Noss come through and join us. But one thing that we didn't talk too much about today, negotiations starting in London between the US and China, and some positives coming out of it early. No deals made just yet, but you had KWeb up 2 points. That's on the verge. On the daily, look, KWeb looking pretty good. Lower high double top at 35. If this can get going, you've got room to the high. Nice little 10% John it could make. Two setups side. I've been eyeballing Alibaba for when it finally, it just now closed above that 120 and the 50-period moving average, so it's now back above the 50 to make another leg higher. So tomorrow morning, I know, barring some kind of crazy headline that's negative, because that can always happen, Alibaba's on my radar tomorrow after closing that 50-period on the daily and breaking out that prior high. As long as it can hold the prior, it's like Friday's high in here. Well, I guess that's Thursday's high, 120, 150. I'll be looking for some longs in Alibaba. Good start to the week for the Chinese names as well.
Yeah, I think one thing too with the Chinese ADRs that's interesting with regards to these negotiations is I don't know if the entire camp of the administration is united as to what's happening, and I'm going to explain why. So we had pretty early in the day, right after the negotiations started, more or less, sources from the U.S. were basically saying, so here's the FXI chart for context, a little bit of a rounded top at the end of the day, but strong, as Neil mentioned. We had these White House sources saying it's going to probably take about 2 days. Meanwhile, Kevin Hassett was saying here, that is the senior economic advisor for the White House, he was saying that, it'll just be a quick, strong handshake and then the meeting's done. That wasn't what happened. And what's interesting, too, is Kevin Hassett said before 8 a.m. during a CNBC interview this morning that the team was definitely willing and ready to ease these export controls or release them entirely if the meeting went well. Well, then a couple hours later, the market moves on a Wall Street Journal report suggesting that Trump is considering moving these controls. Well, we already knew that, right? So there's just a lot of misinformation. Then later in the day, we get comments coming from Bessent and Lutnick, who are still in London negotiating. They're going to have another day of talks tomorrow. But regardless, they had basically said, oh, the talks went well, they were fruitful. Then Trump saying during this Q&A here at the Invest America event that he has no idea how the talks went. No one's called him yet. So lots of miscommunication, lots of fun, exciting, who knows? But I think either way, it's worth noting the talks seem to be happening. They seem to be going well, and the market is responding positively, which for our purposes, I would say matters the most. As of right now, I was seeing some analysts saying, though, that regardless of what gets discussed, this is only going to be like a short-term solution. There's still, of course, a lot of longer-term animosity to talk about. So
that's the issue. Like it's so complicated with China because what you essentially have happening is the world's biggest superpower and the one that's emerging and wants to take it over are jostling or jockeying for position. And there's lots of issues that you don't see discussed as much, especially like U.S. dollar dominance. And like we were talking about it in the afternoon show, how one of the ways that I think in a lot of these negotiations going on with individual countries and tariffs that you might see going on the sidelines is to say, hey, look, another way for you to keep the U.S. dollar strong is to tell other countries you should be buying U.S. denominated stable coins, which that theory's been out there for a while, and you're starting to see that strength. I mean, Circle is a perfect example in there. Speaking of which, I feel like Circle disappointed some people today. Only up 7.5%, trended down for most of the day. Now, in its very brief existence in the stock market, it's been spectacular. Ask anybody who's day traded it. But today it was about as clean a short off the open as you're going to find, and then a continuation short. One thing I'm reminded of, and I'm not saying this is going to Coreweave because you can't make the direct comparison to Coreweave in terms of what it's going to do, because Coreweave did not do at all initially what we saw with Circle, which is go completely ridiculously parabolic. Coreweave actually broke higher, retested its low, and then broke out the IPO top. That's something we've seen in the past, where you get a few days of exuberance, you pull back, consolidate either beneath or at the IPO bottoms, not the issue price, but we're talking about the lows that get made after you come to market. And then when you retake that initial high, it gets really spicy. So I don't wonder if we're not in that phase with Circle where you just have to wait around for it to retest and make some kind of a challenge of the lows again. If it does, if I see that pattern where it just trends back down, holds on to the 60, maybe you look to see if it can hold that low, and then if it ever breaks out 140 later after retesting the bottom, that could be spicy. But disappointing day. I know it's up 7.5%, but you pull up that intraday chart and not the best of days for them. What's crazy about that move at the end of the day in the future is we saw Apple to the downside, we saw Meta to the downside. You had some very, very strong names which all of a sudden we're losing the bid for no good reason. Initiation of trade talk, strong start to the week, not really any bad news there. And I'm just kind of curious if there isn't a little bit of exhaustion for some of these bigger cap names because of how far they've gone. I mean, for just playing devil's advocate, maybe Meta was weak at the end of the day here because it went from 500 to 700 and there's just some profit taking. And people need some money to go throw somewhere else. That's the only thing I can think of because it was absolutely cruising. Maybe it's a little bit of sympathy to Apple. Who knows? Maybe Apple was the excuse for some strong stocks to start selling off there. Because if you were watching Tesla or crypto like I was in the afternoon, you barely even noticed all the selling that was happening in some of the Mag 7 that wasn't Tesla.
And I want to say as well, I kind of alluded to this earlier, I would actually make the argument that Meta was a weaker name today all day. And I'm going to actually tell you guys why. I think that as someone who was trading a little bit today. So we had this beautiful push off the open here. We, I guess, make a low early on here around 690, 640s. Then we very quickly make a high of day at 705, and that is all within, this is within 12 minutes, guys. So we move a cool $9 in about 12 minutes. Then we got a drop here. We bounce a little bit off the 700. We hold it nicely. At this point, we're holding VWAP. So I attempt a long, but if you guys notice, we really are never able to make a new high of day after that. We only steadily make lower lows. Now, why this is a tricky trade was because these lower lows were not consistent. So if you try to get into a short here and you're risking to, for example, either this previous high there or this previous high at 701, either way you get wicked out. That happened to me here at the 701.60, because if you're looking at this, you're trying to play it with sympathy with Apple, which it did for a second. It looks really positive, but Meta was really tricky, and you really have to look for a much higher time frame, higher lows in order to not get wicked out of this thing. Then we get a much more consistent sell-off after that, but by this point, like this move here, this down and then up, this is already happening well into the Apple event. So this drop came a little bit later, just to kind of contextualize this a bit. Anyways, long story short, my argument is Meta was kind of a short all day, but it was a very difficult short to play, and you had to be very artsy and tricky with it. I unfortunately was not so, but there's always a new day tomorrow.
Trading is often, it's more art than science. Like a lot of things. Like there's the science of you better have an approach that you're attempting to refine and using data in your favor to get positive expectancies. But when you start executing, especially day trading, you're gonna find that there's a lot of art to it. Like there's been times when I'll read something in the tape that gets me out of a stock and you're like, yeah, what a great out that was. I was gonna hold it a little longer, and we saw something in the book and we got out of it, and then look at it go the other way. And then I've done that same thing, and then someone psyched me out in the book. And you're like, oh.
Isn't that the worst?
Yeah, they trick you. It's like you see it, it's like something that usually looks like a reversal, like a big whale, and the other maybe selling the stock, and they slip you out, which is what they do every now and then. It happens, but that's why it's more sometimes art than science. I want to shout out to anyone that's been in the silver breakout here. Bit of a continuation today. Might be time to start looking at SLV on the morning show a little bit more, because it's a pretty significant break, and it doesn't do it justice to only look at this. To only look at it on a daily chart, I think is kind of weak. On a monthly, you get an idea of what we're coming into. Nice rounded bottom, local breakout already. Happened at 27 for SLV, silver, lagging gold, and now you're getting some late break and some catch-up play. I think it's got room on the current move to get to 34, so I don't see why it's not trending into that, and then see if you can't go a little bit further. Now, the daily chart, which I know for us shorter-term traders is what we're looking at, the continuation looks fantastic. Just keep in mind, like throughout the day, and the reason why I say we got to start looking at this, technically pretty solid. Like this is not going to go 33, like 37, 38, parabolic like an SMR would as a similarly priced name. But what you can get are very clean moves, and that's why when I was noticing this breakout on the daily, it's like, well, can you trade this? And I looked at what happened in here off of the open, and it was just a simple, here's your pre-market high break, 33.11 or so, and then right here at 9:30, you get an open range top at 33.11. Look at what happens when it breaks out that double top. It doesn't go a lot far initially, but this wick on the pullback is 33.10. So you've got 33.11 top, 33.10 on a dip, and then a break of 33.16. Well, that looks like 6 or 7 cents worth of risk to me on a long in a worst case scenario if you're taking this mini breakout or this consolidation and look at it trend up. So that entry is there for you, whether you take the initial breakout, whether you take the consolidation, whether you take the dip back into prior high, or whether you take the breakout here, 33.16, in an upward trending stock. So I see, it looks executable to me over on silver. We don't just have to talk about this. This is something you can trade as a day trader, and does decent volume as well. We do love that look. Is there news? I see Darwin mentioning Disney moving around here. We know Disney had a good run. I mean, I'll
look into it.
Up 1% here. Darwin, Disney feels like it's breaking. I never ended up selling my Disney to put into Netflix, which was one of the best decisions I made in the last couple of years. That said, I never went back into Disney, which is also now looking like a good runner.
Yeah, so I have some news on Disney. We have a small cap mover as well. I'll talk about this one quickly. Marin Software with just under 3 million share float, 2.89 million shares, 8.5% short float. Now seeing that they entered into a non-binding letter of intent with a private equity firm for a possible asset sale. So good look here for MRIN, up like 100% post-market. DIS, this is what we want to talk about here. So apparently, they're going to have to be paying an additional $438.7 million to NBC Universal following the completion of their Hulu equity appraisal process finalizing their purchase of the 33% stake that was held by NBC Universal. Apparently, this payment is going to be recorded as a non-controlling interest charge. It'll be excluded from their adjusted EPS guidance for fiscal 2025. Now, the exclusion from the guidance could maybe be what's lifting us here. We did get a little bit of a post-market move. This is one of those stories that I think is interesting post-market, but in my experience, from what I've seen as someone who does the watch list, a lot of times you see these stories that you think are going to be huge movers in the morning, and then they're not even a blip. I think this Disney story might be one of those, but I'm totally willing to be wrong for the sake of my ease of writing the watch list and for Disney fans everywhere, so I'll have to wait and see what happens there. I don't think it's going to be a huge mover, but really quickly as well, Neil, if you don't mind, I want to talk about MongoDB. Someone in the chat here was asking our thoughts on MongoDB. I just did some quick chartistry on this one. Bagholder Trading is the name of this individual. So let's take a look here at MDB. And I'm going to be honest with you. I did a couple. This is the 1 month. What I see here are lower highs. Going to be just really straight up here. This is like, I can't believe this thing was almost at 600, 590-esque. Then we get another lower high, 511. Then we get a much lower high coming through here, 365. And then, I mean, what I will say here that I think can kind of cut either way is this double bottom around, where is this line here, 146s. So when I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here. So the weekly chart, I mean, lower high, lower high. We almost, it looks like on earnings, potentially broke out of this weekly downtrend, but I would want to give it some time. Now, the next level of support resistance above that 140s-ish area is 220. We respected this a lot, I guess 217-ish. We respected this a lot here on earnings so far in the earnings reaction. It's a good look. It's kind of wrestling right now with its previous earnings anchor VWAP from the, I guess, 2 reports now, the December report. Right now, well above the earnings AVWAP from May. So I think if we can stay above this 150-ish, 146 level, it's positive. Either way, though, I think the fact that we have this double bottom with lower highs is not like the most pleasing to me. So I would probably be a little bit patient here. I think it's a much better look if we can take out this next weekly resistance level around 296, 300. That's just my take.
It's definitely, it didn't give you the follow through that you wanted. We were talking about that one on earnings, how good it was. I think for the very short term, anyone that's bought the bottom, you're probably pretty happy with Mongo as long as it holds on to 200, because that's the level on the daily that would give you the most concern. That's where you gapped from. But it does seem like it wants to retest that level. Oftentimes you make that gap after earnings, and when there's no buyers after that, you come back and you start to fill in that gap. It was still a pretty good one for them last week. Tesla, by the way, Tesla is actually attempting to make another high here. If you're just tuning in now and you missed today or just missed the afternoon, then the big move was Tesla late in the session, breaking away from 300. Donald might be keeping his red Tesla. Maybe they're not fighting anymore. Maybe they've made up. I don't know, but it does seem like the worst of it. Like the key thing I think here is I don't think we have to worry about the loss of government contracts. I don't think we have to worry about the weight of the administration against maybe some the regulators not allowing robotaxi to go forward. Like those types of things that were concerns. It feels like we're walking back from that. That's why Tesla's up 5 points. Just try to take out 310 again. It's like the third time it's tried to do it in the aftermarket. We actually haven't broken through that 310 level yet, just yet. But it looks like it's pretty good here for Tesla. We'll probably come in looking pretty bearish on it tomorrow after being, bullish on it tomorrow after being pretty bearish the last couple of sessions. It was this, but there's another side to that coin. That's some of these names that it rallied on. I mean, the hopes is the wrong way to think about it, but I suppose for them it was. If some of those government contracts were lost, say SpaceX, you had ASTS, which was up on that in the last couple of days. That pulled back late today. Actually, it's still up 10%, but pulled back pretty heavily late in the day. Closing not on the lows, but giving up $2 there. Uber fared a little bit better as a sympathy kind of name. Slight pullback, but as expected, some of the money that would have rotated out of Tesla and into these names, it plays in both directions. So when you're watching those, I mean, obviously we all know when Adara's coming with the hot goods and the headlines, when she says Tesla's moving and she gives you the news, of course you're going to pull up Tesla. But don't forget some of those sympathy plays, because there was a continuation short on ASTS. And I wish I had, because right when Tesla started going the second time, there was an easy short on ASTS. But I wasn't really thinking sympathy play in that moment. But if your head goes there first, then you can get what can be a pretty easy trade. Like this bounced, went right back into the prior low, and then dumped again. I mean, that's and that's like $1. That's about as easy as it gets, right? Because you know where you're looking. If it starts to curl, it's at 35.25. Like maybe you get 20s, you give it 10 cents, and it drops almost a full buck. And you know it's in play. and you know which direction you want, and you can see Tesla flying anyway. So you can just sit there and feel pretty good about it, but you got to know where to look. That's why the watch list is fantastic. Like our free watch list in the morning, it doesn't just give you the news and the stock, it'll give you the sympathy plays to that news as well.
I do that when I can, for sure, if there are any, because I'm a huge fan of sympathy and antipathy plays. A lot of times, too, sometimes you'll see a story, you'll think about the main thing and you'll report that. Then you see on X people mentioning other things moving. And then you kind of have to use your brain to be like, oh, that's why that's moving. It's a lot of, and I mean, I will say I think I'm lucky to have the memory that I have because I think it allows me to make these connections a little bit quicker and give them to you guys as quickly as I can. But yeah, there's a lot of that. And I actually want to pause it, Neil. I think the reason that I think there's two reasons Uber didn't move as much as Astus or Rocket Labs or any of those other names. It's because I think for one here, you had the benefit of Dara, his name is Dara, not Dara, the CEO of Uber actually being at the Invest America event. Now, Dell actually moved on Michael Dell's presence, but I think that's because Trump really highly praised Michael Dell. Uber didn't really move much, but the point is it didn't really drop on this either. It only kind of slumped a little bit later with the rest of the market. My second point that I want to make with regards to why Uber didn't move as much is we know that Uber and Tesla are competitors in this space a little bit, right? We know that that's kind of been a thing. The only time Uber significantly moves is if we get a change in that status. So for example, when we had Elon saying how quickly he wants to get these robotaxis out there, when he says they don't want to buy Uber, they don't need to buy Uber, that's when we get these moves in Uber. Now, if we just have, they're going to maybe not cancel these government contracts, that wouldn't impact Uber because Uber didn't really rely on them. It's not a huge change in their relationship. Now, it does change the relationship for people who bought into Astus and Rocket Labs, et cetera, or Archer Aviation too, because they think this is going to be a great play. Elon is not getting these contracts. We have an opportunity. That now has been fundamentally changed, at least potentially in their minds, when Trump says that he likes his Starlink. I mean, he was really flaky about his Tesla, actually. He said, I might move it somewhere. I don't know. I have a lot of locations. But he said very firmly he's keeping Starlink. He thinks it's a good service. So that, I think, could be why it moved. I think it just impacted the space side of things more than it impacted the Tesla side of things. That is my very long-winded explanation over. I can't believe it's almost 30 Neil.
It is. And I think that's the reason why when I come in tomorrow, I'll be pretty bearish on Rocket Labs. You know, this was one, and we'll end on this, and I know I'll probably mention this in the morning show, but the trading show, she got to get some ideas in there as well. Rocket Labs, where it turned on that reconciliation or making up or whatever you want to call it, the bro hug out, which didn't actually happen, it failed to make a 52-week high today and pulled back already, lost the $30 level. And on the charts, it looks like a good double top reversal on Rocket, and you've got a catalyst. So I think that's going to be on watch tomorrow. But you know what we got to do right about now, everybody? We're starting off the week hot. Tesla hot. Trading was hot today, no questions asked. But before we get into the roll call, got to get some shout outs. And first of all, I got to remind everybody, if you want to be a part of roll call, if you want to ask us questions, lots of engagement in the chat throughout the whole entire show, especially in the aftermarket show, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe. It's a subs only chat. So jump in there, give a big shout out and a thank you to Adair, of course, giving you all the news all day long and for doing the roll call in a couple of seconds here. Give a big shout out to my man Sean on the desk there with the killer trays, to the Bash brothers, Joey Options and Sharif, to Obi for when he's filling in every single time. He's probably still hanging around here going through some charts as we speak. On the ones and twos, today we had Ramin back on the ones and twos, taking a break from the socials because Fabian was off and Andre was probably already gone. So big shout out to Ram as well. And of course, got to shout out our viewers, the best. We have the best community out there. So drop your name in the roll call, and Adair is about to rock it.
We finally got Casey earnings, so I'm going to roll call through these quickly. Sorry, guys, they literally just came out. Q4 earnings of $2.63 per share. That is well above estimates of $2.01 per share. Nice little beat. $3.99 billion in sales versus $3.93 billion expected. Nice little beat. Now, this is a spready stock, but I would call this kind of a DPZ spready stock in terms of my mental Rolodex of spready stocks. It might give you a little bit of a market or post-market move, but it doesn't have the type of liquidity for me to seriously consider trading it unless there's like a big switch. I will trade a lot of spready stocks, but you got to give me an in. You know what I mean? KC, stuff like that doesn't generally do that. So with that in mind, I'm going to keep going through this roll call. First, I want to shout out Bears versus Bulls. Not here right now. People asking about details. I don't know any, but hopefully he's doing well. We wish him the best. We're going to thank our friends at the show here. We're going to all the sponsors. We're going to thank Neil, Sean, Sharif, Joe, Brendan, hope you're having a lovely vacation. Fabian, Ramin, Andre, Chef Joe, Dangerous, great pun there. Yatube, Keepstein, thank you, Nimrod, for donating these memberships. Mr. Thumbs Up, Pitchbull, Lee Yee, Jersey Sword Jack, that's an awesome name. Esky, Nephew with the capital P, Kapow, Xdomi, Christopher Jones, KK14M, Cristobal, Jake Robert, Snake, 007 Kyle, Wall Street Only, Alex, Dollar Bill, Sebastian Taveras, Heartbroken Biker, that's a great name as well, Daryl Flinch, Bishwaji, D-Lo, Tranquil Channel, Go Bills, Chris Shrum, Bob the Dog, Al Gorilla, these names are great today, Robo, the Tranquil Channel, Go Bills, Esky, Walter, Yvonne, Rajesh, and we'll end here with Sunny, Little Tree, and Aura Alpha. We hope everyone had a great day, and guess what? We're going to do it all over again for you guys tomorrow. Very excited, and GameStop tomorrow after the close, so let's see if that one roars.
Let's see. We haven't heard from Roaring Kitty in a while. Maybe he'll make a play again, but it doesn't matter because they're into Bitcoin now. So if Bitcoin rallies, maybe GameStop will as well. Either way, we're here to cover it. We are Trader TV Live. We'll see you all bright and early, 8:30 in the morning. Have a good one, everybody.